We're gonna get back into this. Up. Guess what? I can't find my damn phone. Don't know where I put it. Should have thought about that, right? And I heard it too. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead, let this video play, and we're gonna get into something. All right, let's go.
Find it. Another thing I realized while I hypnotized myself is that because I occupied my thoughts with food became my hobby. Find something else to do instead of thinking about food all the time. I know it sounds harder than it seems, especially if you deal with food noise, like an obsession with food. Find something else to be obsessed with. Like go do something else that's interesting with your life so you'll be too busy to think about cookies all the time. And I promise you the food noise will go down. Okay, and so like I told you guys, I also realized that I wasn't letting myself lose weight. What do I mean by this? I did all these crazy diets, and diets are okay if you need to fit in a dress or a wedding or whatever, but constant chronic dieting really can mess with your head long term. Because you are so used to failing. Because if it had worked the first time or the third time, you wouldn't still be dieting. It comes from the place of not having what you want in the first place. So on average, I only lasted about a month on every diet that I tried, and I don't lose any weight. Everything that I had lost gains back in like a few days when I stopped. And even then in the dieting process, I cheated all the time. I felt so bad about it every time. Yeah, like I said, I found out I actually had a deep-seated belief that diets would not work for me because of the beliefs I had since childhood. And I almost want to say that the chronic dieting caused my binge eating ED. And the thing is, you cannot think that food is bad. You cannot demonize it. You need to allow yourself all of the food that you can have access to in the world. But at the same time, you also need to allow yourself to lose the weight and to stop sabotaging yourself. The law of physics will apply to your body no matter what. So, no, you can't eat large quantities at every single meal and not expect to gain weight. Even if you eat 10 cups of fruits and vegetables for every single meal, you are still going to somewhat bloat from all of the food weight because it takes up physical space in your stomach, and it's just the laws of thermodynamics. So it's really just portion control. And even though I eat food that I like I still eat a lot of fried food and dessert and sweet treats and snacks and stuff like that, I do not overeat. No more second or third helpings of pasta sending is what I used to do a lot of, or an entire box of chocolates and going over. But also healing my gut health gave me more control over food, which I'm going to talk about very soon. So that I also studied the habits of thin people, how they eat. So-called naturally thin people are not actually naturally thin. They don't binge every day. And I mean, a few people out there really do have fast metabolism and they're blessed, but really most of them just have a really good habit and portion control. And growing up, I observed the way they ate. They're generally very mindful about food and yet still eat whatever they wanted. But the thing is, they don't overeat. They tend to eat really slowly and chew a lot, and they talk a lot while they're eating, so they feel full much sooner than they finish the plate. And they sometimes don't even finish the plate, and they're okay with just like letting it be or taking half their plate home.
All right, I'm back. So, what you heard here is somebody who became obsessed. Just look at the alignment here, right? She realized, okay, this food shit is taking over my life. I'm obsessed with food, right? She didn't want to be obsessed with food. So she took her mind back. Because remember, I told you, the mind is in a biorhythm of however you do things. When I was eating that stew, quickly I wanted some bread, I wanted some crackers, because my mind was used to it always wanting these things while I ate, right? So she took back her mind and her reality for how she wanted the front lobe of her mind and said, no, I'm going to find myself to be obsessed with something else. I'm going to find something else to be obsessed with. So then in her alignment, she found women who were thin and they told their thin habits. And she realized some people have high metabolism and they're blessed, but most people are not. And this is what they're doing to remain thin. And so she began to align and find the answers to what she was doing because she put that momentum in there. And this goes back to what I was saying in the last show. Feel sorry for people for what? Feel sorry for people in my 600-pound life, my 800-pound life, my 1,000-pound life plus life. Feel sorry for them for what? Because of their trauma? When was that person going to get their ass up and do something about it? Why am I being so hard ass about it? Because you need to take your life serious. You need to remain in your frequency, because there's no need and there's no room for fake friend coming into your life, the beluga coming into your life. I'm not actually being in your life. There's no room for this shit. You got to put yourself in a frequency to push this shit out of your life. See what I'm saying? Girl. That's what I'm saying. Excuse me. So she took her mind back. So you have to know how to go into your level of intelligence. What is the intelligent creator's code? How do I code this to my intelligence? How do I code this to my intelligence? When you look around in this world, social surmounting is a thing, right? And along with social surmounting, we know that there's levels to social surmounting, like there's levels to beauty. There's a hierarchy to everything, no matter what you do in life, whether you want to accept that in a capitalist society or not, there's hierarchy. It goes back to a song, was it Meek Mill that did the song, said there's levels to this shit. He's talking about frequencies, because it is frequencies and it is levels to this shit. But you have to walk into the level of what you want to be. You get me? Another thing, when you are hitting your frequency to be with a certain caliber of people, right? When you are hitting your frequency to live life as a certain lifestyle, you need to lean into that. When you are hitting your frequency and you're aiming and you're on a mission for something, you need to keep at that mission. More no's are going to have to be said. More aggressive ways that you have to speak to people are going to have to get done. More self-learnings, more self-taught things are going to have to happen. Let's keep listening to her journey.
Home as takeout or something like that so they can have it for another meal, and there's usually food left on the plate, and they're also very active. They tend to walk a lot or do some kind of workout or sport. So For not so naturally skinny people like me who don't have these habits, naturally, I need to be more strategic about my food habits because I love food and I eat it so fast and inhale everything. So eating slow and chewing slowly just isn't who I am. Of course, I mean, I can adopt all the habits, but personally doing everything is a lot for me. So you need to know what works for you. I personally, for me, I only focus on a few things, but most of all, adopting the general mindset of the person with your ideal body is key. Another thing that I did was I stopped lying to myself. I stayed accountable. I tracked everything that I ate so that I can be honest with myself. And when I was at my heaviest, I can tell you this, I was constantly lying to myself about food. Like, for example, what's eating 50 Ferrero Rochers gonna do to me? Oh, and they're so good too. Or I would eat an entire box of pistachios and then move on to an entire box of yogurt pretzels and then the entire box of Oreos. And like that was a meal for me. No, bitch, that was a binge episode. I had to learn to be really painfully honest with myself because I lied about food all the time because of shame, because I didn't want to admit to myself things I didn't want to face. And as a result, it showed up somewhere else in my body. Another thing is you shouldn't deprive yourself.
I want to say something to why. It's not blaming people, but it's looking at the energy around you. What life choices was I making? Who was I around when I ate like this? What life choices was I making? Let me tell you something. I had to realize that, you get older and you learn, right? Why I attracted so many damn people who were healthy since I was young. I've always, since my adult life, I attracted health nuts. Do you hear me? I mean, people who, and they're not even health nuts, like they're health conscious people. They were all about like this eating healthy, making sure that you get that cardio in, work out your body, work out your body. That was drilled into me since I became an adult. Gotta get your weight up, Minty. Gotta get your weight up, Minty. All kind of shit. It was everybody always just pounding me. And this is why when I get to this age, I'll be like, yo, I know better than this shit. You got to understand that these things are not in front of you without reason. Okay? These kind of people, places, and things that come into your life on that level don't come without reason. I know people who've been struggling with health issues since their late 20s to 30s. Health issues. There's people I'm starting to get realized now that at my age, their health was shit. And where my health is at right now, where I'm taking it. There are people that I'm looking at their health and their conditions, and I'm just like, this is not normal. And she's right. You have to be honest with yourself. I just looked at myself in the mirror today, y'all. Okay, socks on, my typical sweats with the sports bra, right? My typical look, right? And I looked at the bra and I said, this bra is comfortable, but I think I need to measure my body again and I need to get a better bra to fit my body. I need something that tightens me up a little bit more, that fits my body a little bit more to the way that I want it to fit, right? That's the first thing I said. Then I began to look down at my body and I could see that from the style and the way that I put on my sweats, because I put them over, my belly button line, right? And I was like, okay, I lost some weight, not disillusioning myself. I was like, I lost some weight because my body wasn't looking like this at the top. And so I even tried to suck in my stomach to see how that worked out, right? Because before I could not even barely suck in my stomach. And so then I hit the scale and that bitch was like wobbling. Okay, so I finally just stood still, like, see what the hell going on, and went down to 168 point something. Then it started hitting me because I've been drinking water. Because I've been drinking water, and because I'm drinking tea, and because I'm TMI, trigger warning, not TMI, but trigger warning, releasing myself. But there's a healthy way to release yourself in the bathroom as well. This is what I told myself. And then I thought about the things that even when I ate them chips, and I thought them chips gonna probably make me gain weight. Nope, didn't even do it. And then I thought about things on top of that. And I said, whatever I'm doing, I need to keep doing because I'm about to hit it. I'm about to hit it. Especially with this, what's coming for next, not this week, but next week that's coming to my doorstep. I'm about to hit it. I told myself that shit. Okay. Do me, y'all.
So the abundance mindset works really well for weight loss. In the past, I binged because I felt like I was really lacking something and I was depriving myself all the time. And the more you deprive yourself of things, the more you're like, you know what, I'm going to eat the thing anyway. So instead, I just found a way to eat my favorite treats every day and remind myself I can have whatever I want anytime. The snack aisle is not going to leave me. It will always be there for me if I want something. And strangely enough, in a backwards way, this stopped my cravings. So I would pick 2 to 3 guilty pleasures that I cannot live without, and I eat one every day. So for example, I love so many food, but let's just pick 3. For example, I love chocolate, rice, and tuna mayonnaise. So the key is to have something that I really like every day. Whether it's a couple squares of chocolate a day or a can of tuna mixed with some mayonnaise or a meal with rice and meat and vegetables, and so that I'm not depriving myself every day, I'm eating food that I like. And then I also made like delicious lower calorie desserts for myself just as a treat, and I do this every single day. So I'm not even thinking about going out to the bakery and buying myself a cake or anything like that. And I eventually get to the point where I'm just so sick of my favorite food because I'm eating it so often. And if I want Oreos or potato chips, I still get to have it. It's right out there for me. I can just go out and buy something. But I buy the smallest snack size so that I don't overeat, or I share it with someone. And if I really want more, I can go back to the store and buy another one. But that's definitely a second trip. And do I want to take a second trip? The key is to make it harder to access your trigger foods because you're already surrounded by so much other good things, you know? And if you overeat, it's okay. Don't punish yourself for it. If you get to the point where you're just like, you know what, screw everything, I'm just gonna like go back to my old habits, this isn't working out for me, then that's not gonna do any favors for you. You have to keep persisting. Because even though every day we do our best looks different every day. So don't punish yourself if you can't do as best as you could compared to yesterday or last week. Because the punish reward cycle itself is self-sabotage and it will lead to spiraling out of control. So just be really kind to yourself if it ever happens.
This is how you
Just
have
pick yourself back up. Okay, and then I changed.
What I learned. This is what I learned. You have to build a more, because consciousness doesn't mean always that you're aware. You have to build more awareness of yourself. Dig into those books, man. These books I be having y'all listen to, man. Listen, it tells you, you tell your mind what you want it to do. You fight for yourself. You have, okay, look at it. This is how I looked at it, right? I have been living in a mental biorhythm. So my mental biorhythm is, let's say, Oreo cookies that I put in a bowl and pour milk over it like it's cereal, right? Let's say I love to sit around and snack on honey barbecue chips all fucking day. Let's say I like to fucking always eat bread with whatever meat I got going on and vegetable and this potato and this and that. I like to always throw some bread in there. Let's just say this is the cycle that I go on. And of course, I like the motherfucking, after I smoke my weed, I like to eat Snickers, right? This is the biorhythm. So the moment I say, I'm going to start eating plant-based food. See, me, I've ate vegan plant-based food. This shit not new to me. You know what I'm saying? This shit is not new. But I'm going to go harder this time than I did before, because that was going to the restaurants and stores and it wasn't the best experience. But I'm going to go harder. I'm going to go to this the whatever food site it is, delivery at your door, fresh food site. I'm gonna do Cook Unity, whatever. I'm gonna order from them, and I'm gonna order, and I got enough to pay for a week, a whole month for whatever to pay for what I'm asking for, right? So that's what you do. And so when that happens, right, that pushes you to now eat in the way that you want to. Now, what about your mind? You get up, you feel like you want to eat Oreos like this fucking cereal. You'd be like, nope, not doing that. I'm doing this. We doing this. This is the new rhythm. This is our new rhythm right now. Is this right here. and you have to keep at it. You have to put more power in yourself. You have to understand that, like, basically your God body. You don't let the world try to give you a perception of what the God ideology is. That's their perception of God, and that's how they working in their life. But you have to work your God body mind. Like, nah, this is what I say it is now. This is what it's going to be.
My value mindset. So what does that mean? I stopped shopping for the value of calories. So I grew up in a house where my mom was from a communist country, so the scarcity mindset was really real, and I was kind of conditioned to think about how full certain foods will make me feel compared to the value of the meal or the food at the supermarket. And this mindset made me gain a lot of weight because the more you lack something, the more you're going to want it. So instead, apply the abundance mindset to food, right? In order to fix my thinking, I had to flip the script and think about the value that I'm getting in terms of nutrition compared to the value of the food itself. For example, the vegetable produce aisle is more expensive than a giant bag of pasta or a giant bag of rice, but it is also a lot more nutritious. And you just gotta trust that the food, like a Caesar salad, will make you feel
Yes.
full. And I do not need to eat
And that's another thing too that people get tired of in this reality, that you mean to tell me to eat healthier, I gotta spend all this money, right? You see what I'm saying? Because yes, you do. You gotta understand. But see, here's the thing. That's why I found what I found. And I was like, wouldn't it be better to just do it this way when it could just come to my doorstep? Wouldn't it just be better that way? And then I start really thinking about the money and calculating like what's cheaper. You feel what I'm saying? Than what I'm getting at the grocery store. So what I'm saying to you is you have to build some type of intelligence of how you're going to do things. Whatever you want for yourself, you're going to fight for that shit. You feel me? You're going to be like, nah, this is what the fuck I want. I'm fighting for this shit. You feel me? So it's all about where you start and what's inside of the spirit, of what frequency. Remember what the creator said, Cole said, you tell what reality you want. You tell what frequency of life that you want. She said, I don't want this shit no more. She said, yeah, the produce section is cheap. I'm expensive, excuse me, but this is for my well-being. I'm going to pay for this. I'm going to put myself in the frequency of this to have the life that I want. Remember what I told you? Trader Joe's, right? Starbucks, and I forgot the other store, right? These places, when they hit your, I'm gonna just say Trader Joe and Starbucks. I can't remember what the third one was. When these two places hit your area, it's gentrified like a motherfucker, and it's about to be expensive out this bitch. There's places in California where they said when you walk in there, the entire store is vegan. There's places in the inner cities where the entire store is vegan. I have walked into small places where the entire store is vegan. Everything, even the tea, is different. You hear me? And that shit ain't cheap. Ain't none of it cheap. Ain't no buy two and get this. Ain't no buy three and get this. The shopping don't go like that. You buy this and you pay for this as you pay for this. Or you get this double stacked in one pack and then you pay the price two for one price. It's none of that in them stores. At least from when I went to vegan stores and shit, I ain't never seen none. I seen them probably have a sale. Hey, we have a sale on this. But no, you know what? That small vegan store that I saw, they did shit like that. But that should have told me right there and there something was off about them. That they was just doing it for the money. Like, no, go into an actual vegan. I just thought about it. Go into an actual vegan grocery store. I think I bought tea from them or something.
cups of pasta to feel full. So I would then end up spending most of my grocery budget instead on fruits and vegetables that I love to eat, as well as herbs and spices to elevate the food to make it even more delicious, and also lots of protein and gut healthy food. And in order to feel satisfied, this next point, gut health. I focus on improving my gut health. Most of the time, we crave junk food and sweets because we have poor gut health, and then in turn, these foods make our gut health even worse. And it perpetuates the entire food craving cycle because when you have a poor gut health, you crave even more sweet, sugary, junk foods. So to me, this tip is really key because when I had cravings, I would have this sort of brain worm sensation where I feel like my brain is on fire until I have chocolate chip cookies or whatever. So every day I will eat some form of diverse probiotics from food, including fermented foods, pickled vegetables, kimchi, yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, sometimes even probiotic soda and kombucha. And I even had a phase where I make my own probiotic soda and it was really easy. Also making sure to get prebiotic foods as well, like bananas, oatmeal, cabbage, whole grains, almonds, flax, and so on. So if that's not convenient for you, you can also take a prebiotic and probiotics as supplements. And healing my gut actually healed my unhealthy relationship with food. And now I no longer have cravings for Oreos or biscuits or cakes, even though I still eat them when I wanted them. But to be honest, ever since my gut health got better, I haven't really craved it that much. So let's talk about all-you-can-eat buffets, which is my personal kryptonite. If I ever wanted to go out for an all-you-can-eat buffet or anything specific, like, I don't know, like a big barbecue or something, I make sure to plan it out in advance. So usually at these all-you-can-eat buffets, what happens is I end up eating so much at the buffet, which is so gross afterwards that I swear out buffets for a long time. So if you need to get any kind of specific cravings out of your system, just do it. But make plans for it. When I go to an all-you-can-eat buffet, I try to have it earlier in the day so I don't go to bed with a full stomach. And even if it's later, it's okay, but I make sure that that's usually that one big meal I have that day. And also, I don't know, but buffets are usually not as good as you imagine it to be. And same goes for sweet treats like dessert and snacks and all that stuff. It's never as good as you imagine it. So you never have to put any kind of food on a pedestal like that. But when it comes to losing weight, you gotta kind of shift that mindset a little bit. So we give our cravings too much credit. I remember a time when I crave pancakes all the time, and every time I have pancakes, it's never as good as I imagine. And which, by the way, if you already enjoy most of the foods that you're eating every meal, every day, and you're romanticizing the food that you eat, like for example, I would make a really cute-looking sandwich. I'll make it look really nice and pretty. And
I like what she did. She beautified her life. And that's exactly what Hungry Root does with the food. Hungry Root makes the food look pretty, delicious, sellable. Okay. And I really appreciate that they do that. And I like that she said she made everything beautiful. Now, I don't do dairy, and that's fine. I don't do dairy. Okay. I meant to play music while she was talking. It's all good though. All right, we're gonna go ahead. What does chill hop sound like? I do want to go to the side. I want to ask some questions though. That sound like some damn love making shit right there. That sound very romantic, don't it? Look at the they go to
visually appealing.
saxophone.
And it's also delicious as well, so that no matter what I'm eating, I'm really enjoying it to the fullest and being satisfied with what I have, rather than thinking about what I don't have. And that personally, for me, I found that eating earlier in the day actually makes me hungrier throughout the rest of the day. And so instead, in the mornings, I drink coffee, a cup of water, and just take my vitamins in the morning. And then if I'm still hungry, I can have a small oatmeal and yogurt, strawberry for breakfast in the late morning. So I had done intermittent fasting for a while, like eating within an 8-hour or 10-hour time frame. So something like that for me would look like eating from 12 to 8 p.m., for example, and then not eating outside of it. But then when I lost the weight, I realized that it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as calories that you're eating makes sense for this you want. So knowing your basal metabolic rate is really important, as well as how much calories you should eat in order to achieve a certain goal. So I never personally place a big emphasis on meals like breakfast or anything like that, because at the end of the day, it is how much calories that you're eating. And then specifically when it comes to things like breakfast, to me, a lot of Western style breakfast foods is just not ideal to start the day with, and are actually terrible for your insulin, especially with the first thing of the day that you eat, like white bread and jam and cereal. And especially when it comes to spiking your blood sugar, like which leads to your body storing fat. It's almost as bad as eating cake for breakfast. And personally, I would rather.
I want to tell you something. I have to laugh because my child, she told her grandpa that she has a way of pissing him off, and we get a kick out of it because it's so funny, right? She was like, hot dogs take 10 years away from your life, or something she had told him. And she don't eat cheese and all this type of stuff. She can't, she don't eat none of that stuff. My daughter's very, very, very picky. So like not picky, she knows what she eats and what she doesn't want to eat. And the only thing I tell her as her mom is like, you need to go work out. You need to get your weight up, you need to work out, get your strength training, you know what I'm saying? That's something that I need to just install in her right now, because she has a friend that's a bodybuilder, and I'm like, I think that's great. I feel like I manifested that. She needs to get on that. She needs to get her body up. But other than that, like, she does take care of herself. She's athletic, and she makes her life happy. Okay, this is my child doing this since a teenager until now, and she's watched her mother teach her how to be this way. And so if ever in life that she ever feels like she's off track, which I doubt, because she's a very stubborn girl, she's very stubborn, I feel so proud that she has started life this way. I feel so proud that she's even picky about how she does life and who can come into her life. That she manifested somebody who's a roommate that's a bodybuilder. I think that that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's awesome. In the quality of life that she has around her. My sister is right there with her. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Eat cake for breakfast, you know? I like to bake from time to time, and I do this a couple times a month, so very occasionally I do eat cake for breakfast. Not every single week though. You should just do what works for you, but nutritionists will say that the best thing to eat with any kind of sugary sweet food is to eat it with protein and fiber, so that your blood sugar doesn't spike so quickly, because that's what's making your body store the weight. So eating breakfast foods with eggs, meats, whole grains, low glycemic fruit like berries are some really good options. So then I make sure at every single meal I'm getting some kind of protein. So I eat whatever I want, but personally I have some meat at every meal, or yogurt or tofu. And if I'm in a hurry, I would probably drink a protein shake or fry up a couple eggs. I make sure to enjoy every single meal that I eat. And it needs to be delicious, and preferably food that I love, my favorite foods. Because if I feel satisfied.
Okay, so we don't have to dig into that. So she romanticized the food that she had. Gym is a lifestyle. She developed the gym as a lifestyle. And she said how to get abs. Let's go.
Metabolism will be. So specifically, I'm going to talk about how I get like 11 abs, which is like the line on the side. And sometimes I have a 4-pack if my body weight gets a little bit lower, and it kind of fluctuates, and it's totally fine when it does. So you need to understand that abs show up only when you get to a lower body fat percentage, because if it's covered up with other things, you're not going to see abs. So no matter how many crunches or sit-ups you do, you're just not going to see abs if you have like 40% body fat or something, if you know what I mean. But because I focus a lot on weight training, I make sure that every workout engages my core and my abs. That means with every rep that I do, like you gotta squeeze your abs really tight and really engage it. So you don't need to do specific workouts, like I said, like that's focused on the abs if you're engaging your abs every single time you work out. So yeah, multitasking works really well for abs. And then most importantly, you need to find the things that you want to do and the things that you really love and enjoy. Because if you want to lose the weight permanently, you have to do it forever. So you just go back to your old habits once you get to your goal, because you're going to accidentally reverse all your progress, which is not the goal here. So how I make it permanent is that I constantly remind myself that my new habits make me so much happier and so much healthier than my old habits. And that alone gives your brain like reward, like dopamine. And I also found that you can't deprive yourself of anything, because then you will feel deprived and you feel lack, and then you will feel like cheating. So just remind yourself you can have everything that you want. And when you do that, you're going to be like, I can get snacks anytime I want. And the opposite happens. You stop craving the snacks. But then the other thing that can also happen is if you crave something so and you have it a lot, and you eventually get so sick of it that you won't even crave it.
Yeah, you will start, the crave will go down. I felt like it was going to be hard for me to stop smoking. I really did. I felt like to stop smoking tobacco, I thought it was going to be really hard for me to do it, right? But the last time I smoked, and then I went and I was like, yo, let me look it up. Okay? What does it mean when you smoke and then you have to go to the bathroom and this, that, and the third? And then what it said was, I like, oh, that means that, oh, that's not healthy. See how that went? I put that together. And I was like, oh, that means that there's something going on in my body that's actually rejecting this tobacco. Okay? That's what I'm saying. So therefore, when I realized that my body was instantly rejecting whatever I was doing with this tobacco, that instantly made me say, What is a healthier way for my body to release these things? Now, if I go out here and vape, then I go out here and vape. Okay? If I go out here and vape, then I go out here and vape. If I go out here and that's a part of a pattern that I do, stop, go back to it, stop, until I completely go cold turkey and I just don't identify with smoking at all, then I'm well on my way, on my path of health. Then I'll be well on my way to really start cleansing my lungs and understanding what is, I can learn it now, what is lung health? What is gut health? What is skin health? The reality that limits us makes us feel like we gotta be doctors in order to learn this shit. And if we want to do all this, we may as well go to school to be a doctor. That's some ignorant ass shit. That's some ignorant ass shit to tell somebody. That ain't got shit to do with it. This is our body. This is our well-being. This is who we are. So therefore, we should care about our well-being, our body, and who we are, right? So therefore, whatever put in our body and what comes out of our body, we need to pay attention to all of that. Isn't that what doctors are doing anyway? Isn't that what doctors are telling us and teaching us when we go to a doctor's appointment? Should we not have our lives be in a way where we don't need a doctor's appointment? Or when we do go to the doctor can say, well, you're doing well with this and this and that, but here's some other things and remedies that you can do to make your health better. If you want to do like this, and if you want to build muscle and do this is what you can do. That's the kind of doctor visits that I want. I don't want to come in that motherfucker and find out I got lupus, sclerosis, and all this extra type of shit.
Anymore, because you're gonna have it all the time. You're like, I'm sick of this. But be aware of your triggers, though, your personal food triggers.
Yes.
Like, especially if you have an addictive personality. But even if you do, you can also quiet down the food noise by fixing other things like that, gut health, or even going for a checkup. Because some of us might have an illness that we might not even know about, like PCOS or hormonal or even thyroid issues. So it's really important to talk to your doctor and get regular checkups so that you don't struggle for nothing, right? And as always, thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful.
And I encourage you, as you are on your hold on. The audio acting up. Okay. What you have to understand too is I encourage you that work on your health first. You know what I mean? Work on your health, then hit that doctor with a positive mind. See what the doctor got to tell you about this and that. Asking you get a copy of it, right? Tell the doctor, my goal is to cleanse my lungs, right? My goal, you just make sure you intuitively got a good ass doctor. Make sure your doctor's health, it looks good. Because the last doctor I seen, that bitch was chubby. That disturbed me. I don't want my fucking doctor to chubby. Okay? I need my doctor to look like Dr. Mike. And any other doctor I had, she makes sure she took care of her goddamn. So hold on, this audio fucking up. I don't know why it's chopping up like this. I don't like when this audio does this. It sounds cracky. Hold on. I gotta turn down this music, y'all. Hold on. One second. Hold on. My audio's cracking. Literally. Okay. So you have all these different things going on, right? And I'm here to be the one to tell you, you gotta take your life back. Now, we are talking about social surmounting. Okay, what the fuck does this have to do with social surmounting? This has everything to do with social surmounting. We are pulling our life, we are pulling our frequency into something, right? Take 2 capsules in the morning on an empty stomach. It's the afternoon though. Another thing that I must mention, I sat back, I listened yesterday to a show, right? And I said, why the fuck did I come back here? Why did I need to hear what the fuck they was talking about? Why did I go against myself coming back here to this subscription? And lo and behold, it was exactly what I needed to hear, and it was just like so stupid, right? It was just stupid. It just all becomes so stupid to me, right? And so after it was all done, I thought about something. And I said, number one, these people are childish. These people have not touched grass. These people do not know life, do not know life at all. The reality bubble that they're in is not even in 2025 going into 2026, right? They are somewhere that does not exist. They spend their time pulling out stuff, the worst stuff that they can find. And I began to say to myself, you know, when it comes to places like this, right, where I have to go to the world and I have to get on a microphone and talk to you, right? When it comes to places like where you're acting and performing and being in another character, being in another person, right, for this character, right? Or when I have to write and I have to go into my characters, all these different places where I have to come outside myself, right? I'm still coming from inside myself, but I'm still outside myself when I'm creating, right? Does it still have a reflection in my frequency if then I do a show the opposite of who I am every day? And I say, yes, it does matter. Because how you do your show, what you talk about, the things you talk about, the things you engage in, the conversations is a very much reflection of your very life. It's a reflection of your very life, right? And so, being that it's a reflection of your very life, um, that's telling me the frequency of these people. They're very afraid. They have expressed that. They're mean and they don't fuck with people and they isolate themselves. They have expressed that. Okay. They live in deserted, isolated communities. They have expressed that. So they have expressed everything that I hear. They're out here being the people. They're not saying it, but they're spewing extreme hatefulness towards so much people and cultures and even immigrants, right? I'm like, whoa, and they're spewing all of these things, and I'm like, this makes so much sense. That tells me what life reflects for them day by day. And the people that listen to this tells me their life. But I have come to notice something. When someone on their panel is actually living a life where they're outside, where they're free, where they're traveling across seas and all these things, they leave. They don't last on that panel. The people who are actually out there touching grass do not last. But I noticed that one person gets praised, one person gets honored, one person is the main character of the show. That's how it goes, right? And that's when I realized the ego on the body of the person. Start realizing that. Pure hatefulness towards people in this world. And I'm like, this is where people get sick. This is where heart problems come. This is where Alzheimer's. This is what diabetes is. And one of them had made a joke about if I ever get Alzheimer's. And I was like, oh, shit now. Don't say that. Don't say that. Okay? So all of these different things and these people and all of this shit shows you a reflection of who and what they are. And what they speak about. Let me tell you something, and I'm gonna stand and I have to talk about this. When Charlie Kirk was taken out of here, right? He caused and still has caused uproars. People expressing their thoughts on him has gotten them absolutely fired, right? This is what happened to Charlie Kirk, right? Even I was spewing anger at Black women and telling them to shut the fuck up, right? And after that, something shifted in me. Something shifted in my whole being. And I realized in that moment, I gotta get out of this. I gotta get out of making shit my reality. I gotta get out of getting caught up with other people's shit. I gotta get so caught up with people telling me other people's life story. I gotta get away from all of this. And that's when I took y'all on my journey. Because see, the universe, we know him. Because I was just about to just say, fuck it, y'all can have it, you know what I'm saying? And I found something. And here I am back again. I said, I'm going to just take y'all on the journey with me. And as I've been on this journey, you can clearly see I have been aligning and aligning and aligning. In this background work that I've been aligning and aligning and aligning. You understand? All right. Another thing. We have been crossing paths with conversations and people, right? Besides the success studies, we've been crossing paths with conversations and people since we've been reading the Creator's Code. And since the Creator's Code, there's been more frequency and more aligning and alignment. And so more frequency and more aligning and aligning, right? We cross paths with women like this. Women like Maria, right? Women like Exoticals United. But this time around, really dig into the conversation and flowing with what is being said. showing that Exoticals United is talking about things that need to be talked about. See, the divestors will tell you that these conversations are useless. They're so male-centered that they take these conversations and say that this will put you in the realm of a Shiva 7 and you just going to be a sugar baby. And probably call this poor girl a sugar baby. And we clearly know that's not what she's doing, but it doesn't matter if she is, but they're clear that she's not doing that. This is a monogamous one-on-one type of lady. I already know that. Nobody got to tell me that. And so we have all of this alignment going on. Let's keep going one of the speakers. This is her whole playlist on Look. Okay, how to come hot as fuck and confident. Maximize your brain power and become dangerously smart. We're going to play that one next. Let's go ahead. We're going to play to become confident. Then we're going to get to maximize your brain power. Let's get into it.
I strongly believe that in order to become the most attractive version of yourself, it's not always about how you look, about the type of energy that you're bringing to the table. So this video is for people who want to become hotter and more confident, and I'm going to tell you all the ways. I think it's a really nice feeling to work hard on yourself so that you can keep upgrading and leveling up while you watch everyone else around you who are close-minded stay exactly where they are while you get better and hotter and more confident. I know that everyone has the potential to be their very best, but you need to actually listen to me and do the work, because I'm serious. Once you learn all these tips, there's no going back to being unhot and insecure. This is something that you cultivate. I mean, look at me. Back then, I wasn't hot and confident, and then look at me now. I need to tell you that I still love the OB very much. She taught me everything, but I'm physically, mentally, and spiritually unable to go back to where I was. It's impossible. Right. I believe that you can do it because I did it, and don't worry, I'm going to show you how everything works. I'm going to go through the hot and confident mentality, the belief systems, values, glow-up routines, how to put everything into practice. This is a full tutorial, so you can't do everything that I'm mentioning in the video and then come back later on in 2 months and tell me you're still not hot and confident. That's impossible. I'm going to give you some live homework, and you need to go and put that into action, otherwise it's useless, okay? By the way, it's scientifically proven that people become hotter and more confident by subscribing to my channel. I'm joking, it's not proven, but I've been told that by the birds. So if you want to improve yourself in any way at all, you know what to do. Thumbs up to support the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to subscribe to my channel. Okay, let's get into it. I want you to know that being hot and confident, it's really all in your head, or at least it starts there in your head. If you talk and act and embody the fact that you're already beautiful, you know exactly what you're doing, other people will follow your lead. People will believe whatever you tell them. That's what I started doing. Sometimes you just have to fake it until you make it, so that when you finally make it, then it's no longer fake. That's the hard and honest truth, no BS. Sometimes it's really uncomfortable, and the reason is because when you first start to believe that you can be hot, you will feel like an imposter, because who are you to think that? Well, that's the thing. You've been making all of these choices all the way up to this point so far that's not aligned with the hot and confident energy, which is why you landed here today. And then you're like, oh no, this feels weird. I can't do this. I'm not hot. When people say that, it's so sad to me, and literally the angels in heaven are crying right now, because everyone deserves to feel good about themselves. If you want to improve, then you need to do certain things better than before. You need to let yourself first receive the grace and kindness. You are the only person who can inspire yourself to do hot people things, and I can show you the way, but you do it. You already know all of the benefits to things that make you hotter, like exercise, healthy eating, changing your mindset. So I don't want to keep repeating myself, because this is what my entire channel is about, and you already know. I didn't make any real long-lasting changes to my confidence until I stopped looking for any type of external inspiration or external validation from other people. None of these things ever last, by the way. And I just started doing everything for myself. I first told myself that I am beautiful, I am hot, I am confident, and I am going.
The external validation could be, let me just put this out there for you, because that's been happening to me. The more and more I've been thinking about these changes, like, because remember how much I weighed, y'all. Remember I said I was 171. No, I was 178. And I was like, what the fuck, bro? I'm 178 when I went to the doctor at the top of September. Then I did my shit, went down to 171. right? And then just kind of then go. And then recently, I was at what I said, I was at 170. Then I was like, I'm 169 pounds, babe. She like, that's good. And then I just got on the scale and I'm 168. Okay, so wait till I'm like nothing on and get on them scales, like after a shower or something, to get on that scale. That I'm probably less than that now. And I told y'all my goal weight, where I'm trying to go back, where I'm going to, not back to where I'm going to. I'm like, I'm reaching 140, 135. Building up muscle in between that, right? That's what I said. And so now the momentum is flowing with me and flowing with my mind. And it's not all in my mind. And sometimes I be thinking to myself, I be having in my mind, like, there's going to be people that's going to notice how much weight I lost. There's going to be people that's going to notice that my style is different, that my energy is different, that I'm eating different. Because I feel like that is spirit, like my mind is like preparing me for, you're going to have people that's going to test you, that's going to try to feed you things. You're going to have people that's going to keep trying to test you. You're going to have people that's going to try to have parties and invite you to eat and pizza and stuff, and you're going to just have to say no. You're going to have to stick to your plant-based diet. And you're going to have to invest into yourself, however that is. And I have to start studying what is coffee. What is a healthy way to drink coffee? I may have to go out there and invest into more healthier coffee and take it to work with me and start drinking that kind of coffee. There's so much things that's in my alignment moving forward. Like, I'm literally prepping myself when I get back to work. You see what I'm saying? And people are going to take notice. Like, wait a fucking minute. They may look at it as, oh, she's not eating and this and that, but that's just my mind preparing me for this. It's not all in my head. It's just, I'm intuitive enough to know that this is going to come. But to stand my ground. That means there's more discipline and there's more preparation that has to be taken this week. You get what I'm saying? More pre-prep, prep food, prep cooking, prep kitchen, everything.
Going to use my newfound energy to empower myself. If other people can give you compliments and call you hot so you feel hotter because of it, then imagine if you actually believe that yourself. Every time you say it to yourself in the mirror, you don't need anyone else telling you this. You already know. Your I am language is what's going to define your entire life. Not other people's compliments, not other people calling you hot or whatever. It's from changing that belief first that yes, you do deserve to do better things for yourself so that you can then start making changes about the way you feel good and how you feel good about yourself, because then that will make you feel and look better even when everything sucks. When everything is going horribly and all seems really weird to you, all the more you should be doing the thing. That's the only way to get out of any kind of insecurity or any kind of rut. Do the opposite of what you're feeling. I have to say though, the next step also is very important. This is you walking the walk. You need to take good care of yourself, period. Because if you don't have things like good hygiene, you have terrible posture, like you're a hunchback, you smell bad, you don't comb your hair. If you show up super confident and you look unkempt, then you're just gonna come off as very creepy and insane. I'm not even joking. Just think about it. That's an energetic mismatch. Any kind of mismatch will come off as very strange and very creepy. So we're not going to do that. We're going to embody the hot and confident energy. So let's not betray ourselves like that. We have eyes to see. We have noses to smell. You don't even have to look a certain way.
I'm glad she said that. You don't want to be an energetic mismatch. It does come off creepy. She's right about that. she's right about that. You need it to align all the way. Okay? Because there's nobody who takes care of themselves completely that feels beautiful, that is actually very beautiful.
It just needs to make sense. Even things like better posture helps us understand people better and communicate more effectively, which is going to boost your confidence. Other people are going to see you as very trustworthy and capable. If you're open posture, steady eye contact, positive body language, and all of that, it helps you express yourself better and understand people more accurately, and you're able to navigate situations a lot better. This way, you to get a social and career glow up. Literally, it's literally a cheat code. So make sure that you're actually energetically align with your posture, which you automatically will, by the way. When you start to sit up straight, you will feel a lot different than when you're hunched over. Another type of energetic mismatch is dysmorphia. Sometimes we just can't see how we look objectively, and I know it's hard. I've been there. What we see in the mirror sometimes is different from what we see on the camera, and that's a fact. It happens all the time. It happens with different kinds of iPhones that you have, or different kinds of lenses, Android versus Apple, whatever it is. Because I'm on camera, I know this especially, but you have to move past that. I love to say things like, so what? I look weird today, but so what? Move past it. We need to collectively heal this body dysmorphia and any other kind of dysmorphia, because it comes from a place of not being aligned and very disconnected from ourselves, which is also why I'm about to go so hard on self-care as my next point. So let's make sure that everything matches the energy that we're bringing to the table. A few practices that are really amazing for this is to listen to guided audio meditations and subliminals to help you reinforce that belief. I leave my go-to audio meditation platform on my channel's link in bio, so you can go check that out. But really being able to...
I am very dedicated to groundedness. That's been happening and being in this four energy, this 40s, the four energy of being on my feet, grounded. I'm grounded in what it is that I'm doing, right? Physically doing. I'm grounded in making physical changes with my face, with my body, with my skin tone. Like, I'm being honest, I looked at my skin and I was like, I just don't like it. It's getting too dark. And I don't care how no one takes that. This is me. I was like, no, I need my skin to go back. I need my skin to be that caramel, pretty caramel complexion that I always make it when I would always do my skin brightening cream. I left my skin brightening cream. I had a very beautiful bottle of skin brightening cream. And I left that shit. There's a lot of stuff I left behind. I don't even like to think about all the stuff I had, because all that stuff can be replaced. But these are the type of things and changes and transformations that I need to do for myself. You feel? So if that is the start, then that is the start for me.
To commit to even a 3-minute track and help you calm your thoughts down a little bit more and see things more clearly. That's the goal. Writing down your feelings, making more sense of it also works really well, like identifying any kind of toxic behavior.
My practical way of doing everything is definitely
into therapy.
From
one time somebody asked me, why do you
journaling, assessment journaling, as I call it. Being honest about what I feel, what I see, and what I want to transform and change in my life. That's my assessment journal. And then from my assessment journal, I'm also building something where I can get further into, where I can get further into the details of these things. What does it mean to skin brightening? Can you skin brightening and still apply sunblock, right? Skin brightening your skin in a place where the sun is, UV rays is high. How to identify sunburn. Oh shit, I need to fucking write this down because I need to get something from them. Yeah, I just thought about it because I want to see how much this shit costs. I remember this shit from years ago. Right. So, looking at my nose, seeing how much it costs, seeing if Medicaid could even pay for me, or do I have to pay out my pocket to get a rhinoplasty to get this hump out my nose? Okay? All kind of shit like that.
Theanine to promote more calmness. The EGCG and chlorophyll in this matcha also supports firming up and clearing up our skin. And this matcha has been helping support my energy levels a lot more evenly compared to coffee, which, by the way, too much coffee makes me anxious, it gives me the jitters, and that is just not hot girl energy. We want to be cool and sustained and calm. These two combined will help you improve the overall health and appearance of the skin by protecting it from damage, strengthening your skin barrier function, keeping it very supple and hydrated. I even found their website before and afters of people who drank their teas after a while, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, what a better way to start the new year with clear skin, right? So for a limited time, with my link in the video description, you can get up to 20% off the Radiant Skin Duo and also get free gifts like a free rechargeable frother and glass beaker. So thank you to Peak for sponsoring this video. I also found that the routines that make me feel prettiest are the habits that connect me to myself rather than just the end goal. Because goals for the sake of goals are never it. You can never be pretty enough, for example. The real enough is the point where we're satisfied and aligned with ourselves. And that's the point where we feel very confident. So I want you to get to the point where you feel good about yourself and think this is true.
Right. So the self-assessment journal and doing the more practical thing. Looking at my eyes, looking at my nose, looking at my lips. It don't matter if somebody on the outside says, oh, you're beautiful, you're this and that. It's about what you want to happen for yourself. You're not doing it. See, it's the energy that you're putting into it. You're not doing it out of insecurities. You're not doing it out of that. You're doing it out of, listen, my nose can look better than this. I don't like this hump on my nose. I got to do something about it. So you do something about it. My lips, I got nice lips, but there's something in my lips that I want to fix better. So I'm going to do something to fix my lips better. Then fix your lips better. It is what it is. But it's about what you want to do. It's not about anybody else.
Adrenaline levels, feeling nervous and on edge and worried and mad all the time. I know a lot of us are addicted to the drama, me too, but that's not healthy for you. That not only ages you so fast, it's also hard for you to feel confident when you're constantly in that mindset. If you don't believe me, think about how much better, younger, rested, and peaceful a guy or a girlfriend of yours looked in the past when they broke up with someone who was terrible for them, like they just got out of a bad relationship or they left a horrible job and all of that. Think back to how drawn out and exhausted and aged someone looks when they're stuck in life or grieving a loss or they're fighting with their partner. There's always going to be people out there who will be bringing out the best in you and the worst in you. Sometimes these people are your family or your partner. There's nobody in the world, nobody that is worth more than your sanity. Literally, if I feel like a fight is about to start with someone, I shut it down so fast. Like, come on, there's better things to worry about instead.
You got to understand how energy works with people. I feel like I need to pause and let y'all hear me good on this. You think that you just living, we at the top of the hour. You think you just living your life. Bella, stop. What the hell is in there that she going after? You think you just living your day-to-day life. You think you just you're just beautifying yourself. You making yourself feel good. You living in your frequency. You riding high in that vortex, right? You got so much stuff that you fixing and correcting about yourself. You got so much stuff you building for yourself, right? You picking up projects, you putting down projects. You got all this stuff. You going in your closet and you throwing shit away. You challenging yourself every day. You doing all this shit, right? Don't ever think and doubt in your mind and get too comfortable and think that somebody is not picking that up. And that they trying to bring their energy around you to bring all the stress and heartache and everything. And the worst thing, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, is to be somewhere that you've been for a while, and then you just glow up and you transform. You look better. You look different. Something about you just pops up. Because the first thing a stupid motherfucker going to think, you got a man, you got something in your life. That's the first thing a dumb motherfucker going to think. That's the first thing they going to think, because that's how they think. That's their reality. And you don't have that. That ain't even it. It ain't nobody business anyway, but that ain't even it. You keep going, and now you working out. Now you getting your body together. Now you doing this. For a woman, that's not okay. Okay? For a woman, that's not okay, especially if she not announcing she being married behind that. And this is the stupid ass world and society that we live in. Okay? And so understand that this is where the frequency begins to push and pull you to, all right, where do you really want to be in your life? Where do you really want your frequency to take you from where you've been? You see what I'm saying? And I could be talking to myself here, but I'm making my point to tell you guys that, yo, You got to understand that there are people who are going to take a recognition. They're going to realize things. They're going to see your changes. They're going to see your transformations. Your changes and transformations, you can't really hide it. You can move in silence, but you can't really hide it. Once you decide to iron your clothes, right? You take little steps. You iron your clothes, get new shoes, still, do what you do, still work. You know what I'm saying? Something about you feels different. People can pick it up. That person who didn't like you, it's probably really going to come out how much they don't like you when you really start coming into yourself. And you need to know that that comes with the territory. This is what comes with it. Because there are people that they don't want to see you grow. They don't want to see you. Why did they come in your face in the first place? Because they did not want to see you be who you are. They did not want to see you be as beautiful, and they don't want to see you they don't want you to be what you are. That's what it is. They try to take that away from you. And when you take your life back and you begin to grow, you begin to elevate, you begin to realize what's best for you. Okay? Then you begin to understand what is going on in your frequency and how you begin to really understand what frequency really is.
Instead of getting into some silly disagreement that's going to give me wrinkles, just agree to disagree and move on. You need people around you who can bring out the hot and confident qualities in you, not the other way around. When I left a job and I went back to collect myself a month later, my HR lady looked at me and was like, wow, you look amazing. And I told her, yeah, it's because I left this job. And that felt so good to me saying that. So choose to spend time pouring your good energy into things that pour back into you. And if that's not the case, then plan your strategic exit as soon as possible. Eventually, something will need to budge so that you feel good again. Another thing is that you have to believe that you're hot. Never think that you are objectively not hot, because that's never true. Someone will always think that you're hot, no matter what. There is no amount of you trying to convince me that can make me believe you, because I don't care what you think, that you think that you're objectively ugly.
I know I'm a beautiful woman. And I've been robbed of my beauty, and I have hidden my beauty or tried to hide it, but that shit ain't do shit. And I never wanted to show my beauty. I never wanted to show my power. I never wanted to show what I was truly worth, because I was so afraid of the attacks. I had trauma. I had beauty trauma is a real thing. I was afraid of being so attacked. But I have realized in life, being beautiful is a frequency in itself. Knowing that you're beautiful is a frequency in itself. Sitting down and being intellectual and reading books and doing projects and being creative on top of that is a frequency all added into itself. And so therefore, this is where the internal strength has to be built more when you are a beautiful person. Shit, the physical strength is going to have to be built more when you are a beautiful person.
At the end of the day, that's what you think about yourself. Why do you care what I think? How is that helping you? So you're just gonna give up? Like, oh, I'm ugly, I can't do this, goodbye. Okay, then bye. No. My mindset will be, there are some things that I can improve on, and if I can prove that I can go through this, then it will help me level up. I will be in a better place than before. You need to show up for yourself with that kind of attitude, because you're not doing this for me, this is for you. There are people, plenty of people out there who are really attractive and beautiful, but they're totally blind to it. They don't have that hot energy. They're not confident. They refuse to believe it. And so they're not hot. It's a mindset. My old roommate is an actual gorgeous model, and she always refuses to believe that she's attractive, even though she's signed to a top modeling agency. She's a perfect example of this. She's a really sweet girl too, but she never gets hit on, despite being pretty. I mean, she's a model, and I think in a way people become intimidated by her energy because she gives off the energy of being very shy and demure and closed off. She has a very Mr. Darcy syndrome, and if you've never read Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Mr. Darcy is a character in the book which is like a super aloof guy that people think, oh, he must be so arrogant, let me not talk to him. But deep down, he's actually just kind of shy and worried about what people think about him. Because here's the thing, right? True confidence is silent, but insecurity is actually really loud. Because when you're insecure, everyone around you can pick up on it. But when you're confident, you're actually very magnetic, so you don't send out insecure vibes, which...
This is the pick me. This is the pick me. This is the fucking pick me. She always got something to say, and she always got to be flirting. She got to be talking about what sexual shit she can do to a man. The pick me is always just, she got to make herself and her presence known. And the prick me can't stand you or me because we have a silence about ourselves. We're quiet. And they can see. See, this is what I need y'all to understand. Like, I know it sounds weird as fuck, right? But I had to learn this too. That bitch can see because she's always watching other women and what men do to other women. She can see who likes you. She can see who's flirting with you even when you don't know it. She can see how that person might be approaching you and you don't even, she can see everything that you ain't paying no motherfucking attention to. And she still don't like you for that shit. I sat here, right, the last time, right, I was at the job. I know I told y'all this story, but the last time I was at that job, right, I'm gonna just pause her and let her keep talking, okay? And so what had happened is there's a guy who is a childhood friend, right? Because it all, like, it's crazy how when you sit by yourself or when you sit back and you just kind of, if you give a fuck about shit, you start really, that's one thing about me. If I give a fuck about it, if I think, I'll figure it out, right? That's just the kind of person I am. And so I sat back and I realized this is a childhood friend. I even told her this. I was like, oh, that's my childhood friend. I don't care for him, you know, like, because I don't. Y'all know already I don't. You know what I'm saying? And so he has a wife. I would like to meet who his wife is. I really do. Because, you know, and I call him her eye candy, right? Because she always talk about how fine he is, this, that, and third. Women been loving that man since when I was young, okay? It's nothing new, okay? That whole family gets that type of attention, okay? Let me just tell you that entire family. And so anyway, what happened is, right? Excuse me. What happened is, she went so hard to tell him. He be asking for me sometime, but when he see me, he say, "What up?" You know what I'm saying? Da, 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 da. And you know, I kind of like say what up back to him because it is what it is, right? It's work. And I would still speak to him outside of work. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that history. But I noticed that she started going harder about what she can do to her body and this and that. He told me, you gotta understand, he told me, I never said nothing to her, but then she started telling it, she started talking about it. These pick-me's are ridiculous beyond ridiculous. I get it, right? Women like ourselves, goddamn it, that was a mistake. Women like ourselves, we got other shit to do, right? We in school. We probably already in a goddamn relationship with a whole bitch, right? Just chilling in that relationship. We living our best life, going to our favorite bookstores, buying bookmarks, right? Journaling, doing all this shit to elevate and make our lives better, right? But that bitch is clocking you. You heard? That bitch is clocking you. And I mean, she's clocking you in a way that you will probably be terrified to know that she's clocking you. Okay? And the reason this is happening is because I feel like we have these experiences to see our hangups. It's to see our hangups and tap more into that creator's code. Why is this motherfucker attracting me? But you got to understand, it's not going to stop and it's not going to change. You know, it's not going to change. You like, I'm going to be, I will keep it a buck with you. It's not going to stop, and it's not going to change. I sat back one day and I started real. I had a situation where it was the manager's child, right? So, you know, when I say child, it's probably like, you know, 2021, but that's their child, right? And I was sitting down and I went to talk to another coworker, but I was talking to her about work shit, like literally work shit. It was like such and such day codes and this code like that. And did you notice this? I don't remember even what I was talking about, but it was work shit. And I was like, shit, I might want to say something to one of them. And then I started talking about the guy, you know, not gonna say his name, but I saw the guy, the old childhood friend, right? The old childhood neighbor actually. And I was just like, yeah, where he been? That's, you know, that's Miss Such and Such eye candy and this, that, and this, all this type of shit, right? And so what happened is, he was right behind us. I didn't even know it. Then I heard he had made a noise when I started talking. I like, oh Brian, what? And I said something to him, something to the. I'm just making up names, y'all. That's not his name. I'm making up names. Yeah, his name is a ghetto ass name. It ain't that name. I was like, oh yeah. He was like, no, don't mind me. And in that moment, I said, why the fuck did he follow me while I was talking to her? Why he follow me? Did he think that I was going to talk about his child? Did he think I was going to say something negative? Of course I would not do nothing like that. But then that told me that that person I was talking to was the fucking troublemaker. I had to start realizing these bitches is trouble. These bitches is trouble. I need to stop. Like, I mean, I think about the job and the position. I'll be like, nah, I can't fuck with these people like that. It's time to move on. So you have to have these experiences because it pulls your frequency more into and lean into who you are. That's what it's all about. It ain't gonna happen that way, buddy. It don't work that way. You have to have your frequency aligned on all levels. Did I tell you I was at the top of the hour already? We're a little bit after the hour. You have to have your frequency in tuned. You have to not care. You have to look and say, if these people don't want to fuck with me tomorrow, would I care? And you won't. Because your frequency has shifted. And they see that. And they see that you're not no longer the person that they thought that you were for whatever they got out of you being who you are. You're here to grow. There's no growth. When you're looking at somebody at a job, right? And I need you to pay attention to this on a micro scale. On a micro scale. We're looking at somebody at a job and they're like, I was in this position and I had this position and I've been going for this position for so many years and they didn't hire me. That's somebody that's not growing, right? Somebody not growing. That's someone that they ain't really telling the truth somewhere down and up and in that story. You shouldn't have to, somebody tell you at a job that they want to give you a such and such position. You shouldn't have to come back to them like, hey, Are you still going to train me for that? No, you shouldn't have to do that. They said they were going to give it to you, right? Are they going to keep their word and give you what they said they were going to do? If not, let it go. It ain't important. These are things that I had to learn. Hold on. Why is her messages taking so long to load? That's crazy. Okay, so moving on. Got a message in the background. I'm sure y'all probably heard that because we're going to listen to this one. You shouldn't be doing all that. And if that's what's going on, write that in your assessment journal. Tap into that. Tap into that part of yourself. Talk to your chat GTP. Tap in. Wow, why am I attracted to someone telling me they're going to give me something and they're not? You know what it may be? It may be not a part of what your vision, what your creator's code is supposed to be. It may not just be a part of your destiny. You see what I'm saying? Like, that may just be the answer. I'm not going to hold you. That may just be the answer. Or it may be something deeper. It may be something that you have to tap into, that you got to work through in the now so you can keep living in the now. Because you can manifest and walk in there every day and say you have that position. You can walk in there every day and you can walk in that motherfucker every day and say, I'm a such and such. I'm a such and such. I'm a such and such. You can claim your energy to be that and act as that and live as that and do things to manifest and be those things. You can do that to really make it happen for you. Oh yeah, you can make that shit happen. You can. But is it worth your time? That's what it's all about. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn it up a notch and we're going to talk about becoming dangerously intelligent. I mean, come on, she's Asian. What did you think? Come on now. You know them Asians are smart, man. They know how to make this shit. They know how to make themselves smart. You understand? They smart, so smart. Yeah, that's my bad. I'm trying to get to my. It keeps switching my damn thing. There we go. So I can do this like this, and I can do this like this. Got it. Learning how to work my little shit. You heard? All right. So listen, they do got some rock in here. I gotta pay for that shit. Fuck them for that. I would pay for it though. I really would. If it was like a little $2. I remember that music I made for the show a while back. I still got that motherfucking music. But who the fuck want to hear that? But I got copyright for that motherfucking shit, bro. That was so fucked up. They still copyrighted me. They he'll strike me for that shit, bro. All right, listen. I'm not supposed to be. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna listen to how to be dangerously intelligent. We at the top a little bit after the top of the hour. So let's go.
education level or being book smart. Getting a PhD just means that you're a very persistent person. It doesn't mean you're a genius. You can have all of the degrees in the world, but if you don't have the mentality to seek out opportunities, have ambition and common sense, then you wouldn't even know how to use all that intelligence in your head. There's a difference. To be truly dangerously smart, that involves a combination of being not only book smart, also street smart, and plus emotionally intelligent. And all of this will make your intelligence absolutely lethal. So hi, I'm May, and I want to help you level up physically, mentally, and spiritually. If at any point you find my video helpful at all, I always appreciate a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. I'm about to send out an email, by the way, for the first details about my first group trip to a beautiful Greek island next summer, and it's a week-long trip. I'm getting us a pool villa with a private chef and a ton of fun activities that we'll do together. So if you want a nice escape and make some good memories of me and a bunch of other people interested in self-development, people who are just like you, then go check out my website. I only have a few spots to fill, so if you really want to come, then sign up and check your email. That's it. Okay, let's begin. So if you're worried that you have an opportunity in life and you're like, I can't do this, I'm not smart enough, I'm not capable enough, trust me when I say this, if you weren't truly capable, the opportunity wouldn't even have come to you in the first place. You definitely belong where you belong. If anything, if you want, you can over-prepare a little bit. Over-preparing for anything, including a test or exam, whatever that is, it makes you so much more confident and it's so unbelievably satisfying. That alone will give you an instant boost, trust me. As well as adopting a growth mindset. This is
when I went back into my schoolwork, right, I realized one of my work was like 55% done, and I was like, 55% done, I gotta go back. And I started realizing like, oh shit, I gotta go back and do this work again. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you have to have purpose for everything that you do.
the most important point and the most direct way to increase your intellect. You need to adopt a growth mindset and constantly be seeking out opportunities to keep learning. The more you can train and challenge your brain in different ways, the better and sharper it becomes. Studying truly does not end with school. You should become a lifelong student because education is something that nobody can take away from you. Knowledge is so powerful, it enhances you, so you should just study until you're no longer getting it wrong. So how you become a lifelong student is that you continue to attend workshops, seminars, take classes, continue to learn new hobbies, pursue any sort of interest that you have, all throughout your life. If you're interested in something, just go for it. We're constantly being told by society that if we learn an instrument, we need to become a virtuoso, or if we paint, we need to be drawing perfectly, and if we sing, we need to be in tune and sound like Adele or whatever. No, you do not. Whatever happens to just enjoying things that we like. We don't need to be good.
What we all need to learn about Asians, once they say, this is what I want to do, they hone in on that craft, and that's what they do. Once the Asian says, this is what I want to learn, they hone into that craft, and that is what they learn. Hold on. This is what they do. So when you sit in here and you experiencing, right? You sit here, you experiencing situations like, and I'm being for real, you experiencing situations like, damn, I'm having a hard time with my grammar, right? That's me. My grammar has become atrocious, embarrassing, okay? That means I gotta pick up the grammar book. I have to pick up the grammar lessons again. You feel what I'm saying? I have to sit down with a notebook and practice grammar even when I'm writing my book, my assessment notes. You see what I'm saying? I have to now teach myself all about basic nouns, verbs, adjectives, all of these different terminologies all over again in the basic of sentence writing. Okay? Because maybe my writing grammar and all of this stuff wasn't as good as I thought it was when I would write back in those times. So now I found something to hone in on and to get better at. I was so focused on vocabulary that I didn't focus on my grammar. Anybody can get a new vocabulary, but what about the grammar? So you have to, now I have to pick up my grammar. I have to make sure that I learn how to speak a little bit more appropriate, right? More, they call proper, but I say a more appropriate, right? More universal.
Good at it. If you are, that's fine and that's great, but we can be bad at something and still enjoy it. Trust me, I know I'm bad at a lot of things, like I'm bad at baking, for example, but I still like to do it. It's fun, and the more I do it, the better I get at it. Do things because it's fun, not because you have to get good at it, and then eventually you're going to be good at it. You also want to use all of the tools that are available to you. New technology, new ways of doing things. Constantly be open to new technology and learn to use the latest social media platforms, software, new ways of doing research, and getting opinions on things. For example, I used to waste too much time on Google. 50 years ago, that would be like an incredible technology and totally unheard of. Like, wow, you can just search up how to do something, you can get 1,000 opinions on it immediately. Well, Google has been around for a few decades now, and now we should be learning even newer tools and even better tools to serve us better. With old search systems, like when you Google stuff, for example, you're putting in all the work going through pages of noise. You spend half an hour trying to find out what you're actually looking for, while avoiding shady links trying to steal all of your information. And then you gotta sift through all of the different shopping sites with hundreds of mixed reviews and spend all this time reading stuff. You don't know what to trust. It's truly a time suck. And then when it's finally time to buy something that you're looking for, you gotta sign up for an account, plug in all of your information from scratch, and this is just not really the smartest way to go about things. If you want to be smart, we should always be using the latest technology, like how it's meant to be used, to serve us. I'm about to put you on something. If you have never heard of Perplexity before, Perplexity is not like Google, where it's an old school search engine. It's an incredibly powerful answer engine that turns your research time for hours into minutes, where it searches the...
Okay, we have to listen to this. I know it's on speed, but we have to listen to this part because this part is key. This part is very pivotal about how you learn, because I've fallen into this.
Time to buy something that you're looking for, you gotta sign up for an account.
Let me tell you why I know my grammar sucks. Well, my grammar needs help, excuse me. The reason why I know that my grammar needs help is because of Grammarly. Every time what happened was every time Grammarly was correcting my speech, every time it does that, I would get mad. I would dead ass be upset. Like, why? What happened now? What I do? And I started realizing, like, oh my goodness, my grammar needs help. And so that's when I honed in on my writing style, where I need to pick up on my grammar. And also with grammar, I need to learn more writing artistries and styles. You see what I'm saying? Because I saw something, I'm gonna look it up now, but go ahead, listen to her.
Plug in all of your information from scratch, and this is just not really the smartest way to go about things. If you want to be smart, we should always be using the latest technology, like how it's meant to be used, to serve us. I'm about to put you on something. If you have never heard of Perplexity before, Perplexity is not like Google, where it's an old school search engine. It's an incredibly powerful answer engine that turns your research time for hours into minutes, where it searches the internet in real time for what?
Perplexity? I'm about to look them up right now, y'all. All right. It's an AI. Okay, y'all. It's an AI search. Oh. I got a question. Let me continue with Google. Which name I want to be under Perplexity. I'm gonna probably keep the same name. Keep the same person. Oh, I couldn't download it on my app. Okay, cool. That's dope. It's in the store. Hold on, y'all. How much is this bit? Free. Okay. Install. All right, I'm installing it now on my app, computer, but there was something else I was looking at. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and have her talk for a minute. I just had to go run and do something, which I know I got to talk over her. I'm doing everything I can with this copyright shit, bro. Did I already? Did I? I don't think I ever signed up for them. Yeah, I found something that talks about writing. Okay. 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 All right. So hold on. The whole. Yeah, this is a whole writing class. Okay, so oh, this is some free classes. Okay, I just found some shit, y'all. That's pretty dope. Okay. I kept wondering why that kept coming across my screen. And this is a script writing class that focuses on the writing. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole course that focuses on the writing. Okay? So yeah, from the industry's perspective, right? So I just had to go ahead and do that real quick. Let's go back to her.
Whatever you want, and then it gets straight to the point in simple words. It gives you all the sources and citations, and then you can even buy any products you search for directly within the Perplexity app. It makes shopping so easy. If you want to research a product, for example, I actually need to get...
Y'all see the title of this did y'all see the title of this video here? Do y'all see that second video? Because you know we're watching that next. You can't tell me you can't tell me she did not manifest her life with a creator's code. It says right here, how to enter your conscious creator mode. We did not align to this woman, May. What a beautiful name. We did not manifest her. We did not align to her for no reason. And as we know, we don't get excited about sacred synchronicities and alignment. This is just the energy that this whole entire program, this whole show has been on. I just wanted to show that, but let's go.
Get a new slow cooker so I can do more cooking at home. So I just search highest rated slow cooker under $100. It finds you the best products for your search criteria. It gives you a summary of all the reviews, features, or even compares all the products if you want to do that. And then when it's time to buy, you just simply click on the Buy with Pro button, and it handles everything else, including free shipping. I have never seen an easier way to shop for stuff, and now I can never go back to the old way. Thank you to Perplexity for sponsoring this video. Do check out Perplexity for all of your shopping and research needs through the QR code or the link in my video description. I also want to talk about who is the typical dangerously smart person. What do they do and how do they behave? What are their qualities like? Maybe I'm describing you because you identify with some of these traits, and maybe these are things that you want to work on. I also want to say that this is a bit more describing neurotypical people. So if you're neurodivergent, then you can take what resonates with you and leave whatever doesn't, and be adaptable, because neurodivergent people honestly need to be more kind to themselves in general. Not everyone operates and behaves the same way. I just want to put that out there.
Right.
So first of all, dangerously smart people tend to be very good at reading people. In reality, you may feel like they can see right through you, and that's because they are very aware and constantly absorbing their environment like a sponge. They know how to ask all the right questions because you're constantly asking questions. They're very curious people. They know there's no such thing as a dumb question, so they're constantly asking questions all the time. Everyone can feel their presence in the room. They have a very strong presence. Not always because they talk a lot, but when they do talk, they talk about stuff that matters, and that makes people actually want to listen to them. It's actually quite funny to see that most ignorant people are always too busy trying to prove how smart they are, and that's all they care about, while actual smart people technically don't even need to prove themselves. They're also the ones constantly questioning themselves and checking themselves and doubting their own abilities instead of showing up, which honestly, if super smart people show their intelligence more often, I don't think the world is ready for that. So they tend to stay quiet because smart people are in their head all the time, very much so, but they're also always learning more and more about themselves, about everything around them. They're strategizing and scheming, and they always think multiple moves ahead so that they can anticipate when things happen. That way they already have 3 different strategies. I think that one way to take that intelligence to the next level is to also trust their intuition and instincts. I'm going to talk about this in a bit. If that person is really, really smart, they will know when they're right and when they're wrong. They can accept fault when you point out a flaw or something wrong with their work or conversation. They know how to take accountability and responsibility for their action. Because the smartest people know this, the more that we know and learn, the less we actually know. It sounds weird, and it is a weird paradox, but it's not like everything has a definitive black and white answer. Even scientific studies can contradict themselves, and that's a whole other Pandora box where certain studies get funded and then other studies don't because there's no financial motivation behind it, or it only benefits certain corporations that they're motivated to fund certain studies that kind of reflect their viewpoint. So sometimes the truth that's presented to you is not always the truth. And smart people know this. Anyway, there's always nuance. Things can always be subjective. Someone else's truth might not be the real truth, but rather they believe that that's the truth. And anyone who dies on some specific hill that isn't solidly objective, like 1 + 1 = 2, for example, then that's possibly led by other things like their own biases, a certain level of emotional intelligence, things happen to them, or how to hone in a bit more about reading and learning. Because smart people know that in order to be heard and taken seriously, their words need to carry value. And this is from accumulating knowledge and experience so that their words hold more weight.
When I had that meeting yesterday, right, I was like, I started looking around, right, and I volunteered myself, put myself out there. So, you want me to read this part? It's like, oh, we won't even think about that. I was like, that's fine. We can read this part. Right. And so I could see where things got a little convoluted, but it was a nice meeting. But what I noticed is in this experience was in the position that I'm in, right? I have to be assertive. I have to be direct. And I understand that by being in the position that I'm in, everybody is looking for my leadership. Everybody's looking for my direction, right? Everybody. I don't be, it's not that I can't be like, would y'all like to do it this way? Honestly, I can't do that. I have to be like, okay, we're going to do it this way. This is how we're going to organize it. This is what we're going to do. This is what I want you to do because I'm the one running the show. Not on some bullying shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But I realized that people seek direction when you're in this position. So I have to learn how to be a boss, leadership skills, how to run my empire as an empress, right? How to tap into that empress energy all the way. What is it that what I have to take to the drawing board and I got to learn again? What I got to teach myself, how I got to speak. What's my voice? What's my true inner voice? Am I speaking from my diaphragm? How to speak from my diaphragm? I've done vocal training and voice training and singing and stuff. I know how to sing a little bit. So what is my true voice? And I have to speak from that. How to speak directly, how to be assertive, all of these things, how to dress this way, how to walk this way, how to talk this way. I have to do that. And it's going to take reading, and it's going to take studying, and it's going to take practicing, it's going to take application, it's going to take writing it down, it's going to take every single day of my life practicing this way of living and being.
And they're not just talking from nowhere. Set aside some time for reading every single day, maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day. That's it. That's not a lot. Neuroscientists say that even simple lifestyle changes like 15 minutes a day of reading will support your brain health for a whole entire lifetime. I always try to read a couple of books a week if I can, but don't put a number to yourself like that. Go at your own pace as long as you're still reading.
Right.
There was a period when I was reading nothing, no book at all, just scrolling on TikTok and Instagram, and I had terrible short-term memory. I couldn't focus. I felt like I was even wasting a lot of my time. Aimless scrolling makes you dumber, but when you have a book, there's already an intention set already that you're going to get information from it. If you don't know where to start, you can start from anywhere. A few places I like to tap into are reading a biography of someone you hold in high regard. It can be a celebrity or a famous philosopher. Right. You can also read books exploring a country or culture that's interesting to you. When I was a teenager, I was so fascinated by classical literature because I wanted to understand as many cultural references as possible. So I read all of the classics.
This all comes into your vision board as well. What state is intriguing to you? Learn about the state, the history of the state. Go there, travel there by watching videos and stuff like that. Watch people who love that place. Don't watch things with people who say why they don't like it there, why they regret being there, because that's not their reality, is not your reality, right? Try to understand why there's a country, a significant country that you're like, hey, I want to be there. I want to go over there. I want to visit there. What is it about this place that you're learning, that you see, that's making you want to be here in this particular place? What is the culture like? What are the people like in this place? What is it is to be American, to live in this place? What is it like out here? See what I'm saying? Why are you so intrigued by this place? So you have to dig into that for yourself, right? You have to just basically, you're just basically living your life on purpose. Like, you just like, what is my reason and purpose for why I did this? You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to talk too much, but go ahead.
Ended up learning which authors I loved. Like, I love Jane Austen and Edgar Allan Poe and even William Burroughs. I love reading poetry,
Edgar Allan Poe, man, that motherfucker right there.
especially beat poetry, because of how raw and on edge it was. So if you're more into modern day nonfiction stuff, then you can maybe even read contemporary science or technology books. And my favorite topic of all, obviously, are self-help books. I've recommended quite a few of these in my previous videos on my channel, so you can check them out at the time. But the best thing I can recommend is read whatever you're interested in. That's it. Another more tangible way to maximize your learning is to choose a new skill or subject that you're very eager to delve into every month, or whatever time period you want to choose. For example, you can enroll in an elementary course in a language that you've always wanted to learn, like Spanish or even Japanese. There have been multiple numerous studies showing that studying foreign languages helps to increase your brain power. You can also join in workshops like creative writing, for example, to boost the way that you articulate yourself in storytelling, or even to learn a new programming language like a web development.
No excuse. No excuse for nobody sitting down in my 600-pound life, 800-pound life, and my 1,000-pound life. There's no excuse for these people, and do not make excuses for them. Do not make excuses for them. Have an understanding, but you keep it moving. I understand this person's health is in the shitter. I understand that this person is on medication at this age for most of their life. I understand it, but I'm not here to motherfucking give a fucking have extreme sympathy that I'll be their fucking friend. They can't be my friend. They're not somebody that they can't be with me. They can't sit with me. You see, I understand though. This is the mentality that we have to develop. There's no excuse out here. There's adults who are boomers who don't know how to read. There's no excuse out here. There's too many people helping adults. There's too many people out here doing something for somebody. You just go to your local event, your local library. They're always doing something.
Course to understand how to code. People think that consistency is doing the same things every day no matter what. It's a great idea, but what if that doesn't work out for you? Sometimes life happens. Sometimes we're tired. In theory, consistency is about being disciplined, determined, and unwavering, but that's not really what it's about. In practice, consistency is about being adaptable and flexible. And if you don't have a lot of time, then you gotta scale it down and find easier ways to do it. Use all the tools that are available to you to do it faster. If you don't have much energy, do the easy version, do the lazy version. Find different ways to show up depending on your circumstances. Because while yes, we should do our best every day, but our best looks different every day. You can always change your habits to adapt to what you're able to do on any given day. Being adaptable is how you stay consistent. If you need a break, then take a break, but then you pick it up the next day. It's important to have days where you're just doing nothing and chill, rather than being very productive every single day and grind set or whatever, because eventually you're going to be burnt out and you won't be able to be productive at all. And trust me guys, burnout is very difficult to recover from, and you really need to protect yourself from getting to that point. And always schedule in rest days along with productive days, because your body and your mind needs that rest. Another way that I like to compartmentalize how I do things is to pick a time, maybe an hour of the day, where I do all of my busy work, respond to emails, do all like the little stuff like 20 errands, mini errands, and then the rest of the day I can choose the time to really focus on the more complex projects I'm working on. That way you won't be all over the place and constantly choosing to do the little things and ignoring the big, complex, difficult projects. Also, if you are curious about something, nurture it and encourage it. Ask more questions. There are truly no dumb questions, and you're not dumb for wanting to learn something new. Nobody is born knowing anything, and like I said before, the more we know, the less we actually know. But don't let that stop you from learning, and don't let anyone shut you down because they're limited in their mindset. That's not your mindset. Curiosity is actually how you develop critical thinking skills, by constantly questioning information around you, considering multiple perspectives, being open to new experiences, reading educated opinions, and analyzing situations before you form your own judgment. When you're curious about something, that way you can have something to look forward to learning, and then that can become your goal that you work towards. And that's how you form educated judgment and educated opinion. And whether these goals are short-term or long-term, your curiosity is going to fuel the interest to have those goals and build towards it. In order for you to gain critical thinking skills, you need to critically analyze what kind of media you're consuming. Are you watching junk TV or actually consuming smart content? Maybe following reputable news sources to stay updated on what's happening in the world and why it's happening. In my personal opinion, TED Talks are also a really great way to build your knowledge. I've learned a big deal from listening to TED Talks. There are TED Talks on everything, whatever topic you're interested in.
I am not a big fan of TED Talk. I know a lot of people are like all on TED Talk. I like the other guy, the one Dr. Joe Dispenza be with. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The one Dr. Joe Dispenza is always talking to. I like that guy. I think his channel was like really good, and I like the car. Where is Carmichael? Hold on, let me find him. I ain't see him in a hot minute.
Especially with self-improvement and finding success and all of that. And have a journal for yourself. I know it sounds old school, like, oh, haha, that's right, like just good old journaling, huh? But it's an amazing tool. Deceptively simple way to remember things about yourself better. Writing down what you learn about every day is like creating a personal database for your brain. You can always go back to it. You can remember your entire life better when you write it down. So that in conversations, you can bring up the things that you've gone through. This is super useful, especially if you have trouble even remembering what you ate for dinner last night. This also will help you become more observant about everything in your life, your career, the people around you. On top of your day-to-day, you can also include things that you've achieved and what you want to achieve every week. Things that you've learned about, motivational quotes that resonate with you, or even anything that you're inspired by. Journaling is such a powerful tool. It helps you examine your own life, basically. You can even have curiosity journal to write any questions in mind throughout the day, no matter how insignificant or stupid it may seem to you. It's not stupid. Then maybe allocate some time on a weekend, maybe on a Saturday morning or something, to delve into those questions, watch a documentary on it, listen to a podcast, or maybe even read some articles or studies on it. Mindfulness can also help you become more curious about yourself. You can start your mornings with a short few-minute meditation, just focusing on your breathing to rejuvenate your own mind, sharpen your concentration, and set yourself up for the day. If sitting down meditating is super boring, so you can also take short mindful walks and just give yourself space to observe everything around you and whatever comes to your head to refresh your mind and jog your memory. This will also help you reset and become more creative. Even just a simple act of breathing in oxygen alone will make you more creative, will make you more intelligent. Also, your zone of genius is actually a Venn diagram right in the middle of your strengths, your talents, and what you love to do. I truly believe that everyone is a genius in something because there's always things that we like. We all have some kind of talent and we all have strengths. That alone makes us unique in the interests that we have, that we can do things that other people can't do. No matter who you are, you have a unique talent. Maybe you just don't know what it is yet. For example, if you're good at a video game,
we don't gotta go no further. We're gonna enter your conscious creator mode. Let's see how she breaks this down. I want to hear this.
I believe that it's a gift to be able to see very clearly in a world that does everything that it can to sell you the illusions of the world. It's a gift that not everyone has, but anyone can receive it, but only if they want to. So don't let anyone who still chooses to live in that illusion to tell you that your own personal evolution journey is wrong. They have no idea what your life is like. And the concept of becoming a conscious creator is that you're turning away from the victim mindset where everything is always outside of your control to actually come into becoming in control, to actively create your own experience. You can become a chemist or even an alchemist, the type of person who uses all experiences, whether it's good or bad, to transform and create even more for themselves. I'm going to give you one example of how the system is failing all of us. Can you imagine if schools actually help children develop their own unique potential by identifying the things that you're good at early on in their lives and growing their skills and talents around their strengths for about 10 to 14 years of their life, instead of just letting everyone follow and become judged by the same curriculum, the same routine, the same system, and then leaving everyone confused after 10 to 14 years on what they're supposed to be doing with their lives. When I was in college, I came across so many people who are just confused. What am I going to do after I graduate? What am I even doing right now? What kind of degree should I get? This is a very common experience because we are not one size fits all. We're all built differently, so it's like saying that everyone needs to follow the same diet, even though some people have allergies and other people have their own dietary needs. It's so important for your own personal growth to understand that the system works against all of us actually, so that only a few people can benefit from this, and those few people are probably not us. So once you realize that, you can break free of that whole thing and work to grow your own life. So how do we do that? Before I start, hi, I'm May, and I'm all about leveling mindset that the world constantly tries to trap us in. At any point at all, if you find my video helpful, you can like my video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me, and that is that. Throughout the video, I'm going to be using Astra to demonstrate my ideas. For those who don't know what Astra is, it's a life advice app personalized to you by using your natal signs. That means it takes whatever general advice that's out there, no matter what you have in mind, and tailors it specifically for you because it knows your general behavioral patterns based on your rising sun and moon signs. You can ask it anything, find out relationship compatibility. Astra can even help interpret your dreams and also chart your astrocartography, which will basically show you which places in the world you're going to be experiencing less resistance in, the things that you want to do. If you want to try it out, you can get Astro at the link in my video description.
Where I'm at, my astrocartography, I have to redo it now, actually. I actually have to do my astro. Let me put that down. Because astrocartography, it tells you from your birth chart calculator where are the best places for you to be. That's why I said I have to do it again, because my birth time. And I'm gonna tell you something. It works. It works. But go ahead. We're gonna let her keep talking. I like this down tempo.
First of all, let's talk about our programming. All humans have unique programming. That's why we're so unique. That programming is basically the sum of our life experiences, our childhood, our wins, our setbacks, everything that we witness in our life. Our programming sets up our belief system, and the chain reaction starts like this in very logical progression. Whatever we believe determines our attitudes, affects our feelings and emotions, directs the way that we behave, and then ultimately determines whether we succeed or fail. And it's that simple. Programming creates beliefs. Beliefs create attitudes. Attitudes create feelings. Feelings determine our action. Action create results, and that's how your brain works. If you want to manage yourself in a better way and actually change results, you can do so anytime you want, literally anytime. But you always start the first step, which is to take charge of your active programming of your mind. Because if you're thinking, I need to do this and have this in order to live my best life. For example, I need to be beautiful in order to attract everything. I need to wait 2 more months before I start to feel better about myself. Maybe I'll wait till next year to start. Honey, those words are actively programming your mind. There are extra steps that you need to do. There are extra conditions that you're setting up for yourself. It's a setup. Also, time doesn't stop for anyone. So whether you think those things or not, time will still move on with or without you. And if you stop yourself from growing, then more than likely time will move on without you. Your life is never on pause. It is never delayed. Your life is always still happening, no matter what. Even if you feel like everything is at a standstill because something happened to you. So then the real question is, are you fully awake to it? Are you paying attention? Even if what you're experiencing right now is completely different from your idea of what it should look like. Let me tell you something. There are no ideal scenarios. There is only the present time right now that is unfolding before you with every inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. The more you convince yourself that you need something in order to start something else, the less you will end up doing anything. You're going to get stuck because you're overestimating the amount of work that's needed, and also at the same time, you're underestimating your ability to do work. It actually becomes impossible to lose if you make it your responsibility to fix it. If you're saying that you're stuck and confused, then you are. You are creating reality by the second, by every word that you say, and by every thought that you think. If you shift that thinking into, I am on purpose and everything is unfolding perfectly as they should be, then the universe will match that. You need confidence to try new things, but trying new things is actually what builds that confidence. I know it sounds scary, but it's not scary because you're not capable. You are absolutely capable. Being nervous or anxious is part of the process and reveals to you actually what you're afraid of. It's not a byproduct of your fears. It actually is a guiding light. It shows you and reveals to you things. And once you overcome that fear, you will get that confidence on the other side. You can get that feeling that you can do even more. So give yourself some space for grace and kindness as you grow, and you will be able to see it. So if you don't want to live a miserable life, then sit down and ask yourself, why am I comfortable with doing all the existing habits that I have that if I keep doing this will lead me to keep on living a miserable life? That version of yourself that you keep dreaming about that's really far away from you, they're actually waiting for you on the other side closer than you think. Imagine where you could be in a couple of months if you took charge of your life today and choose to create and not be created, even with one step at a time. Stop overthinking it, stop dreaming it, and start doing, because you deserve to see the extent of what's possible in your life. We also operate by patterns. So I think that when you're offended by something, for example, and you want to react to what happened to you, you need to learn that you're not broken. That's not a wrong thing. You are just living out a pattern that at some point in your life, it met your needs the best way that you knew how to. That was how you coped with it. It kept you safe and it kept you connected. And it's not easy work, but patterns can absolutely be shifted to better suit your current needs. That means the old patterns that you have, it doesn't work for you anymore. You need to change something. So your reactions to the world is actually all about you. Yes, it is all about you. Even when other people are being loud, even when other people are being annoying, even when traffic is loud, even when the train is late, your response to things is shaped by your own unique lived experience. Things that happened to you in the past, the state of your nervous system, as well as your needs. Like if you're late for work, for example, time just seems to move slower. And it's also shaped by our stories, the things that you believe that are true. Like the train should have been here 5 minutes ago, you're late now, your own value system, your trauma, your deepest fears. But
Right.
whatever you think won't physically make the train go any faster. It's
Right.
all about how we see our lives. So instead of always reacting first to things that you can't control, start to respond to it. That means getting to know these parts of yourself. Ask yourself, why did I find that so annoying? Why am I on the verge of throwing up because the train is not on time because I'm late for work? So it's in the
Right.
same way that other people's behavior is also not your fault, and that it's not really about them. It's your responses to the world are about you. So if you
Right.
want to break this pattern of constant tug of war and continue emotional turmoil and being affected by everything
Right.
so much, you have to start with learning how to check in with yourself, which is why it's important to just take a step back to just look at how your own personal history is impacting your views about the world today, to see where you're still not healed yet, to see maybe where there's still some grief that you're holding on to that's lingering, or that deep down is being projected into your reality onto other
Right.
people, onto other events. So then you can actually keep track of the things, and then people that are really giving you good energy, you get to hold them even closer to you. And as for the ones that are now working against you, that is where you need to set some energetic or literal boundaries. They need to go. To be able to step outside of your body a little bit to see how the stories that you're telling yourself about who you are and how the world is impacting you, so that you can actually see it when you're feeling more reactive than usual. So then actually you can take some time and pause to see your own deeper needs that are not being met, the parts of you that still hurt, still grieving, as well as the places in our head, in our minds that need more rest and more care. And also to be more aware of the times when you're feeling calm, more generous, and happier than usual, to be able to feel and notice that and really recognize how is that making you feel, how does it contribute to you, so that you can bring it up in your life even more when you're ready. And then maybe eventually the more you do this, you can bring it up on command whenever you want to. You can revoke that feeling of happiness and joy and peace. For so many people, we've been taught to disconnect from our bodies and our intuitions from a very young age. And so some of us do struggle a lot with this type of self-reflection. As a result, our self-awareness becomes limited. But it's never too late for you to come back to yourself. You can start right now to start tuning in again to your own body, so you can begin making the choices consciously to help you feel more regulated, help you feel more connected and motivated and alive. So the way that the process works is that you start identifying and seeing what gives you energy, how your past is showing up in your present life, and then open yourself up to seeing blind spots, and then to set boundaries around the things that are most important to you. You should give yourself more opportunities for reflection that can actually support you in creating new patterns focused on coming back to yourself. The more ownership you can take over your own feelings, your responses, your behavior, the more beautiful your life is going to be, because you become mentally strong, you become more in control, you become the one who creates. This is resilience, this is grit. Being willing to sit with uncomfortable situations and working through it and surviving through it and thriving through it. This is how you trust yourself more. And
This is what we, this is the weakness. This is what we see that is the opposite for people who are in these my 600-pound life situation. This is the very opposite of what the fuck we see. Okay? So this is why when you set a standard of your life where you take your life back, then you need to know what you need to know. All right, let's go.
this is how you have the confidence to step into life that you've always been imagining and dreaming of. One thing you can do with Astra is to put this in practice. You can literally pick up the app right now and just feed it things like, I'm finding out what gives me energy, what fuels me, what drains me, and what takes away energy. So based on what I'm telling you, how do I spot new opportunities and stay away from things that aren't good for me? And I find that Astra is really great for mirroring yourself and creating new beliefs and programming that sometimes within those back and forth conversations that you have with Astra, you can then begin to reveal that maybe you've been trapped in certain patterns, or how certain setbacks you had earlier in your life is now affecting you later on. And then you can uncover more things about yourself that way. Remember what I said with Astra, you can ask it whatever you want, and it gives you advice, not just for anyone in general, but for you specifically. You can ask it something like, how do I take more ownership over my behavior, my thoughts, and my feelings? How do I take more ownership? And it will tell me, because I'm naturally empathetic and caring, but sometimes that can also lead to people pleasing and losing touch with my own desires. With the current moon in Pisces, I'm also highly sensitive and in tune to the emotions of others, which can make it harder to distinguish my own feelings from other people's. And in order to take more ownership over my behaviors, my thoughts, and feelings, Astra would suggest practicing self-reflection during the quiet moments of the day, like when I'm sipping that tea that I love, for example. I actually train it to remember that I like tea a lot. It wants me to meditate on prompts like, what am I truly feeling right now? Or what do I want in the situation? So try to tune into your inner voice and trust your intuition and your gut while you do that. And it will always follow up with you with another question to keep it going. How do you think you can start making more space for self-reflection in your daily life? So then I said, maybe through walking meditations. Walking meditations can be a really great way to connect with your inner self while still staying active. And then for me, as a Taurus rising, I'm naturally a very grounded grounded person, and I'm always connected to the earth and to nature. So being in nature really helped me feel even more centered. And it's true. I really find this to be true. And with my Cancer sun, I also need to be by the ocean all the time, by body of water. The moon in Pisces, I might also find that my intuition is stronger when I'm in a very natural and peaceful environment. So trying to pay attention to your breath when you do this, when you go for your walking meditations and the sensations in your body to see if anything comes up for you, any kind of feelings come up for you, any kind of insights that come to you. And when doing this walking meditation, you can also consider setting an intention for the walk, like I intend to tune into my own desires, or I intend to let go of people pleasing. Those are really good suggestions, by the way. An intention is an active way to change the narrative of life, and every action starts with a thought. If you can think it, then you can dream it. You can dare to dream it. And then eventually you'll find yourself being able to do what you thought to do. It always starts with your thoughts. And to really be able to step out of the victim mentality and into creator mode means letting all blame go. And this is the hardest part, because the ego loves to place blame on anything. The ego loves pointing our fingers away from ourselves. I actually believe that we have a soul contract with every single person that we meet in our lifetime. Nothing happens by coincidence. Some people come into our lives to bring us positive experiences. Some of them are going to hurt us, and they're going to bring us negative experiences. Some of them are curses, others are blessings. But ultimately, both experiences will serve as lessons to us in our lifetime. Whether that lesson is don't trust people like that, they will hurt you, or you should have treated them better and left you, so don't take the next person who's like that for granted. Because if we blame anything else outside of ourselves for the way that we feel, that blame is rooted in shame. It's reactive, it's not nuanced, it makes...
This is what divestment is. Divested Black women, from what comes out their mouth, tells me there's a blaming that's going on. There's a whole lot of blaming and past shit going on. I'm gonna tell you now, whatever is in the past is in the past, and it doesn't exist anymore. The only reason why it still exists is because you are making it exist in the now. You are making it exist in the now. And so therefore, it doesn't have no hold unless the hold you give it through your mind. I need you to understand this. Okay? I need you to understand that it's not going to go no other way but that way. Let's listen to her some more.
Things very black and white, and it dehumanizes us and it disconnects us as people, as humanity. Most of all, blame does not help you grow, but taking responsibility does. It empowers you, it helps you become more present to your situation, and it helps you get more curious about your behaviors, your feelings, your reactions, your thoughts, and your patterns. You cannot move on from being stuck in life if you're not willing to show up and be present to what's actually right in front of you, and to look at how you might be contributing to the ongoing pattern as well. Because if you don't see it objectively, it will subconsciously keep repeating itself over and over again until you one day realize it and you break that pattern. Some people will spend their entire lives in these cycles of never ending, constantly meeting the same types of people over and over again and never break that cycle. There are very real reasons why you get stuck in these patterns, and while they are valid, to move out of this pattern, you need to face that old feeling so that it can move. It needs you to rewire and relearn a new way of relating to yourself and your feelings, the story that you tell yourself about who you are and who you're allowing yourself to become. On your own journey of becoming your dream person, you need to revisit and rewrite your story many times. You're a constant work in progress. You have to keep learning new patterns, new ways of thinking, and it's like a baby. Everything in the beginning is difficult, right? You have to learn everything. You might fumble a bit at first, and it's not always easy, but it's always needed. You have to learn how to help younger versions of yourself. The old versions who did their best but don't really know as much as you do now, you need to guide them to also mature alongside you and nurture it with what they were missing before, the compassion and love that you have for yourself right now, to help those parts of your old selves grow past the limiting beliefs that you internalized so long ago. This will in turn help you find your future self. Your duty in your lifetime is to understand your life lessons, gain that life experience, learn to love with an open heart and to forgive, and unlearn what mass society is teaching you, and then find the answer within yourself instead. Then everything will start slowly to make sense, and then you will find the truth. I always think about that astronaut who went to space, and I can't remember his name right now, but if you know, please comment. And he said said something along the lines of how it shattered his illusions about the wonders of the universe when he went to space, because space is just cold and empty and vast and dead, and everything that's amazing was back down on Earth. If you find yourself thinking, I can't live like this anymore, this sucks, this just means you need to change the way that you live your life. Something is not adding up, something is not aligning. It's not ever the end, it's never the end. So don't live like that anymore. Change your thoughts, change your focus, your behavior, and if you do want to dive into the unknown, then give yourself the chance to do that while you're still here on Earth. Our amazing, beautiful planet. You get to do anything you want here and really rediscover a new life for yourself. Rediscover what it means to really be alive. You must train your own mind, because if you're not training it every day and every night, then someone else will train your mind for you. Whether that's your social circle, your friends, your relationships, your mom, your dad, mass media, social media like TikTok and Instagram, or that random dude on the street, or the mean lady that you met somewhere, or your boss, or the annoying coworker, your judgmental grandma. Anyone else and anything else aside from you will get into your head and control you if you don't take a leadership role over your own mind. You wouldn't willingly let a robber into your house to come in and steal all your stuff. So the same reason goes that you shouldn't be letting any outside influence that's bad for you into your mental. If you can learn to protect and empower your mind, then your heart and your physical body and your energy will follow your mind too, and you will have more control over your life that way. You can't ever escape the lows of life. More things will always happen to you, whether it's good or bad, unfortunately, whether we like it or not. But what makes you a conscious creator is how you handle the lows. And if you think that there's something wrong being sad or down or angry, sometimes that's just not the right way to look at it, because there will always be more lows in life. It's not right or wrong. And then there's the highs, right? Which is amazing. It's all about how you deal with it that matters. It's all about your attitude. Sometimes the universe will give you exactly what you want just to see if you can handle it. There is no truth in reality other than what your subconscious mind accepts as the truth. You can't skip chapters in your life. That's not how life works. You have to read every line of the book, meet every character. You won't enjoy all of it. I mean, some chapters will make you cry for weeks, and some are just downright awful. Actually, I just got out of the hospital, and I was there for a week. It felt like time froze for me, even though I know it was still moving with or without me, but it also showed me a lot of things. It taught me patience, it taught me tolerance, it showed me that our health is truly the most important thing, and it really humbled me. To be witnessing in person what the emergency room at a New York City hospital looked like was such a humbling experience. It was so hectic. Even though I had a serious health complication myself and I had to have emergency surgery, there were still constantly people rolling in every hour who were in life or death situations. They were screaming in pain, and I saw it for myself. I have so much respect for ER workers, paramedics, because they are there for the people who at that point of their lives truly need them the most. On one hand, yes, it was horrible, but on the other hand, I learned so much in such little time, like multiple life lessons in 1 week. That's crazy. These stories that we share will keep our world revolving. So live your life, not just to the fullest, but in full. Don't skip any chapters. They're all here to teach you something. There's an Arabic proverb that says, sunshine all the time makes a desert. These simple words are so profound and so thought-provoking. Storms make roots deepen, rain brings growth. If you want flowers, don't be surprised if it starts to rain. If you want to know how to tackle your own lows, you can get more specific with Astra as well and tell what exactly you're going through in your life. I asked on the app, how do I stay more humble and handle the lows in my life? Astra responds that as I am a Cancer sun, I'm naturally empathetic and caring, but it can be very tough for me to navigate these ups and downs while staying grounded. This is constantly something that I have to work on. With Moon in Pisces, I'm highly sensitive to the emotions of people around me, which can also make it very hard to distinguish between my own feelings and other people's feelings, which is true because I could literally feel the pain of the people in the ER that day. And in order to draw my control back, I have to actively reframe my mind and see it for what it is for me, which is that the universe wanted me to witness the ER that day so that I can be humbled by it. Sometimes you really do need to step outside of your body for a second for a lens. And right now, with the Moon in Leo, it's a really great time to focus on your self-care and self-love. It actually remembered how we were talking about cultivating more self-love and acceptance from before. So this is a very perfect opportunity to practice that.
So
take some time to reflect on what
interesting to listen to, right? I pulled up my map too. This is very interesting to listen to because like what she just said is like everything. I don't know why I did that. But oh, I'm cracking up, bro. I'm over here cracking the fuck up. Y'all don't understand how bad I'm cracking up, bro. I'm cracking up. Yeah, they just took the off. But I'm over here cracking the fuck up. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm laughing, because she just said her chart and I'm just over here cracking the fuck up. Man. So there's some zodiac signs that's just like I become a magnet to that zodiac sign, and I'm just like, bro, I'm just tired. Like, bro, I need y'all to like, I don't want y'all around. Like, y'all niggas keep popping up. Like, y'all just keep on popping up. But anyway, I think this is a matter of something that I want to fuck I was over here doing something. I don't lost what the fuck I was over here doing, y'all. All right, so as you use the creator's code to create and manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest, right? As you use this, you apply this, as you apply this to your life, right? What's the key? Application. Doing it. Understanding what the mind really is. Understanding what your body really is. Understand what your body is doing. Getting yourself out of the limitations of this reality is so like, don't listen. You're not here. Okay, listen to me closely. These are the things I've learned. We're not here. What in the fuck? What in the fuck? What are you doing? Hello? No, her ass knocked that shit down. Caught her ass. She shouldn't even be up there. We are not supposed to come here. And that's funny because one of my orange cups just dropped. And that's the sacral chakra energy, okay? That's the creative energy, right? We are not here to feel sorry for people. That's a frequency. We're not here for that. We're not here. I feel like we can have love, compassion, understanding for who we choose to, whether that be our children, maybe even a relationship, but that's neither our parents, right? Neither here nor there. But we're not here to feel sorry for nobody. We're not here to feel sorry, even with our own parents. We're not here to feel sorry for them. We're here to understand. And we're here to understand that that person has created their own reality with whatever it is that they're going through. We're not here to care about that. We're not, I mean, seriously, it's your choice, even if we choose how we feel. I don't give a damn what nobody say. We choose how we feel. We choose to care. We choose to love. We choose how we feel. Even as parents, we choose how we feel. I really believe that. Because there's too many parents that don't give a fuck about their kids. So you choose how you feel. You choose to say that this is what it means when you are in my presence, and this is what it means because you are this and that. And that's just the reality of life. And you have to know that with this type of mentality, if people, even if you don't say it, people can sense it. People can sense just something about you ain't like everybody else. Something about the way you do things, the way you say things, the way you don't care. It's not like everybody else. And you just got to understand that. And it's just that type of shit. And you also got to understand some things don't take it personal. Just move smarter. One thing I don't like when somebody be like, well, you know, they got such and such back there, right? And this and that, right? And then I go back there and look and I realize I don't want nothing. I taught myself, once I make my mind up and I get in line and that's it. That's what I learned. Once I get in that line and I'm about to order whatever else is back there, if that's not what I asked for, then I don't care. See, this is how things begin to get developed for you. Because I'm not gonna hold you, the PTSD kick in, be like, why that person was trying to get rid of me, and I hate going through all that. So how do I control that? I just be more stubborn. No, I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm not getting it. You want to go get it? I'm not going. I'm not. That's it. Once I'm in this line, that's it. So it's these type of things where you have to stand very strong in who you are. I'm just serious, yo. Like, let me get back to her. I don't know why I did that, but sometimes I do that. At least one thing about them is they don't fucking freeze. Oh, she froze. She went out. She going. Hold on. All right, we're gonna go to somebody else then. What happened? Saw any issues that affect screen sharing? Can be fixed quickly within your browser. Check your operating system for Windows, for Mac, privacy, screen, system settings. Hold on, y'all. I got 3 updates. Well, I got 3 updates. I just updated this motherfucker. Under the privacy menu. I ain't got time. Why the fuck I got a software? I just updated this bitch. It's like Sequoia 15 point ba ba ba. It says, hold on, y'all. Fuck Google. Okay, let's go. Do the show. All right, hold on. On the privacy menu, privacy and security. I hate when they be saying to go under shit. You just be like, that shit ain't even here, bro. That shit ain't even here. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Go to screen. What am I going to? Screen. I forget that I could just click this shit. I could just type this shit in. Oh boy, let me just figure this shit out, bro. The YouTube calls me not to screen share because I ain't got time for this shit. There we go. All right. I like to hear her talk, but here's the key. Here's the key to everything that is being said here, right? We at the top of the second hour. It's not hard. Repeat after me. This not hard. What makes it hard, what makes it complicated is yourself and your own limitations that you believe. So I see something and I want to go ahead and do I really want to get into this? You have people who damn Eric Adams done dropped out of the race. Damn, who's gonna be next? That's scary now. Yeah. So I think that the limitations is where you start digging into yourself in the assessment journal, right? Because you say, why do I feel like this? Why do I feel like I'm not capable of doing this? Why do I feel like I'm not capable of attaining this? Why do I feel like the God body in me can't make this manifest, right? That question in this alone and doing the self-assessment is going to make you tweak up yourself. You may start seeing things in yourself that you may have never faced before, that you have to face in that moment to get through that in order to collapse time into the frequency that you want to do. We clearly see this young lady, and I believe her because she's a Pisces moon. If she was just a Cancer with something else in her chart, I would have been like, nah, bitch, I don't believe you. But because she got that Pisces moon, I believe that she manifested, she believed, she went into a delusion, and she did all that shit. This is coming from somebody with a moon in the 12th house. So I ain't attract her for no goddamn reason. So astrologically, we attracted each other. With Scorpio, too. Understand that I learned that water signs is where I learn from. That's it. They're not supposed to be my friends. We're not supposed to be in relationships together. They are a place of learning. Water signs are supposed to be in the space of being teachers. They're supposed to be in the space of what I do right now, mentorship, but that's it. Self-reflection. Okay? This woman talking about being skinny, okay? And the other woman talking about Exoticals United is talking about that. It's not without reason. Because you have to go into your dark goddess self. You have to tap into that. You have to tap into the reality of who are you? And why do you believe you can't get to the other side of truly being who you are supposed to be? When I was in that meeting yesterday, sat around and paid attention to something, right? And I noticed that I had a personality that would have taken over that room. Like literally would have taken over that room. And so I fell back because it's not my space. It's not my room. I didn't even have a part in the script, but I was there. Should have just been on mute. Should have just let it go down. Okay? Should have just did that, right? All right. And so it turned into this thing where I was like, let me just step in just a little bit. Okay? Let me just step in just a little bit. Tell them what page it is. Tell them what page it's on. Didn't want the person to feel like I was critiquing them. And they were pretty sweet. They're pretty sweet, you know, but still just didn't want to do that. But in that moment, I learned something about myself. I only fuck with organization. You hear me? I only fuck with organization. I can't do discombobulated shit. Okay? I can't do it. I can't do shit all over the place type shit. You feel me? We have to have it all together. Everybody is getting into character. And then I looked at the script and I was like, oh, I see some rules that are being broken here. But I can't say nothing. Because I'm not the expert on script writing, but I do have knowledge on script writing, but I'm not the expert. But what did that lesson teach me? That experience teach me as a whole? That experience taught me that it taught me about me and my need for organization. It taught me about me and my need for order, right? It taught me that I don't deal with confusion in a space. Precise decision making is important to me. I don't give a damn about y'all calling Libras indecisive. I know why Libras become indecisive, because Libras don't be in their power. That's why they're indecisive. Or they get caught up in perfection. That's why Libras become indecisive. That's the reasons why Libras become indecisive. And so I realized in that moment that I am a show runner. Okay? I know how to make shit happen. I do. I know how to make shit happen. And every time I'm in the work world, I never do it. I never want to be in a position. I never want to do it. If anybody challenged me, I curse their ass out. But I never want to do it, bro. I never want to do it. And so that lesson taught me that I have to tell myself a new reality about myself. And I mean a very new reality about myself. Mm-hmm. I want to touch on something because I saw this. We're going to go ahead and we're going to just go deep into it. Okay. That video was called Manifestation is Always Instant. Wise Quotes is actually a very good channel. Go ahead, everybody. Go ahead and listen to them. Take notes and all of that there. They're a very good channel. This shit right here. All right, that's the link. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna jump into this video. Do I got my fair use up? Nope, I don't. This fair use, we're gonna see what they talk about with skinny black women.
Call me a hater, but Slim Kim's video about how she's so happy she's skinny did bother me. And
I want to point out something. One thing that first stands out to me is this woman's skin is discoloration. Major discoloration in her skin. My goodness. You see in the middle of her skin how dark it is? Okay. This right here. Okay, everybody dragging this woman. Oh. Anyway. Let's go.
I think it is weird. I also find it so interesting that she felt
she has crow's feet under her eyes. I want to just make something clear that I'm pointing out that I see if this person was standing in my face. She has crow's feet under her eyes. She has, her skin is very dark in the middle, because if you look at you can see the top of her skin is different than her discoloration. She got this mark or something up under her eye that's under her skin. And we can go on and on about the holes in her skin. She needs the deep pore cleansing, right? So she did not look in the mirror and decide to make changes. Because you see the colors in her nose, the tip of her nose, and then around her mouth. She did not look in that mirror and decide to make some kind of changes in her face, in her skincare, nothing.
But her nails making this video after the election, because there is a correlation.
Her eyes are scared.
What we're going to start to see is so many people clinging on to whatever perception of,
it's the discoloration around here. I don't know if my mouse can show it. It's like right around her mouth.
Privilege that they have as a means of advanced social advancement. But back to Slim Kim. She knows what she was trying to say. You know what she was trying to say. We all understand what she was trying to say. And I at least wish that y'all would be comfortable and stand on it. And stop trying to make it seem like we're just taking it the wrong way. Because the reality is, she's only happy to be skinny and, you know, thinks about being skinny all day is because she believes that there's some perception, some privilege that's attached to her skinniness. Yes, and whenever someone tries to use privilege,
let me tell you something. Your health is your wealth. And then knowledge of self. Something about the quote. Because all of that is, your health is your wealth. It is all attached to your knowledge of self. So by living healthy and being healthy on a global mind, body, and soul, I'm trying to tell you, as somebody who was sitting around here on some wanting to gain weight type shit, to when I gained the weight type shit, I like, this ain't the shit. This ain't it. I didn't like the way I was breathing when I was walking. I didn't like the way my thighs was rubbing together when I walked. I ain't like that shit. I ain't like the way I couldn't do sex the way I wanted to do that shit. I didn't like none of that shit. I can go on and on and on. I ain't like that shit. And I'm here to tell you that, yes, 189 pounds to 168 pounds, I'm ready to hit 140 to 135. And then get some goddamn muscle. So yes, to be light, to be thin, to be healthy, to be able to lift shit, to be able to drive for hours, to be able to walk for hours, to run around for hours, to do things for hours, to stand up for hours. Because I'm gonna learn how to stand up for hours too. To be able to do all these things is going to take discipline and practice. So when we sit here and we see people who look like this, we have to say, this is why we have to fall all the way into our frequency. Because clearly you're jealous. Because you don't make no sense. And you don't like to hear the truth. And the truth is, no, it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all to look like this. Girl, you got inflammation. I'm not no nurse. But I can tell my face was, when I first looked in the mirror after all that time, the first thing I saw is my face was puffy like that. I said, what the fuck? Why my face look like this? My long face, I didn't even have the long face. Like, it didn't even look like it was long. It looked like it was getting round. I was like, nah, this not made right. I ain't like the way my nose looked. I ain't like having fucking raccoon eyes and shit. I said, nah, fuck this shit. I'm about to get done. I don't play this shit. But she looked in her face and she wanted to get her nails done. She didn't look at her face and not fucking, and not, yeah, ain't no damn way that she like her face. We know she don't like her face because she don't do full self-care, but she did get her nails done. That's why we don't listen to.
Because the reality is, she's only happy to be skinny and, you know, thinks about being skinny all day is because she believes that there's some perception, some privilege that's attached to her skinniness. And whenever someone tries to use privilege as an example, with me at least, the question that I
okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and continue social surmounting. You know, I don't go past 2 hours.